What's up, dog?
No, I'm not as excited as you are.
Where the fuck you been all weekend?
I had a great weekend. I went to La Jolla yesterday.
Sure.
Just for the day.
Sure.
Yeah, it was fun. I wasn't going to do anything at home.
Walked around.
Yeah, and our buddy owns a burrito place down there, Don Carlos, and we just went and had a burrito, went and got some gelato, and walked around the cove. It was fun.
Come on.
Yeah. What am I going to do up here? I live in California. Might as well go down by the beach.
You bad motherfucker. What'd you do today?
Today, we watched a new show, which actually you might like on Netflix. I'm sure everyone's hitting you up. Narcos. Have you heard about that?
How is it?
It's actually pretty fucking good. We've got like 3 or 4 episodes of that, and that's it, man. Just had a fun weekend.
Did you get a little sun today?
Not today. Yesterday I did.
No sun today. Huh?
Not today.
Jews, no sun on Sunday.
No
Jews.
sun. I went to the mother-in-law's for dinner.
What she cooked tonight?
Garlic shrimp.
Oh,
it's
Jesus.
so good.
Good shrimp? Or like she get those little small
They're
ones?
smaller, but they're good.
The ones out of a can?
No, I don't think they're out of a can.
You never fucking know. These people, they're savages nowadays. They'll give you a little dollar shrimp. You got to eat it. Next thing you know, you're shitting while you're eating.
That's so hot.
What's happening, you sexy motherfucker, Kate Quigley, the talented?
Thanks, Joey. Not much. I chilled all day. I was lazy as fuck. I sat around my house. I didn't even go to the gym, which I do every day.
Do you really? You go to the gym every day?
I do something, or I like play volleyball, or I play outside. I hike. Yeah. Nothing today.
Now, where do you live? Hollywood?
I live in East Hollywood in Thai Town. You know it?
Yeah.
Like Hollywood and Western, kind of?
Western out there?
Yeah, it's crazy over there. But
Lee
I like
likes it. He goes for dumplings over there and shit.
Do you?
In Koreatown, not Thai Town. But
yeah, there's good food in Koreatown. Thai Town too, actually. That's why I like it.
Joey said I'm not allowed to eat there because there's no stray cats walking around. You have to look in those neighborhoods. You have to look for a stray cat.
That's how you know the food's authentic. Is that it?
No, well, that you know, because if there's no stray cats, that's what they're cooking.
That's what they cook.
Oh my god,
that little white meat.
That's hilarious. Chicken. I haven't seen any cats cooking, but
how long have you lived over there?
I've lived there 2.5 years, about.
And how long have you lived in Los Angeles?
Since 2006. I moved here in 2006. But I didn't live here the whole time. I moved here, and then there was 3 years when I had this job where I used to MC events, actually, for Sports Illustrated and for NASCAR. So I used to travel, and I would be like the girl on stage, basically like interviewing athletes or drivers and like throwing T-shirts out to the audience. I did that for 3 years, full time on the road.
That's fucking nuts.
It was super fun, actually. I met so many cool people. Like, I'm not really a NASCAR fan, but I love NASCAR fans because they're crazy. So that time I spent on the road, I got to meet so many like crazy drunk guys and their wives. NASCAR wives are the coolest women. Have you ever been to a NASCAR race?
No, never.
It's insane because I worked with Miller Lite, and I was like on a NASCAR Miller Lite poster at the time. And so I would go to all these events, I would MC and sign posters, and you would think that, wives wouldn't want their husbands like coming up to us and hanging out and flirting, but these wives would like shove their husbands at us and be like, "Can he just touch your boob for a photo? Can he just grab your..." I was like, these women are fucking crazy. But I love them. It was a lot of fun.
How'd you get that job? Out of LA or you're originally from Ohio?
I'm from Ohio.
Now, did you start comedy in Ohio?
No, I started doing improv when I was in college in Chicago. I went to school in Chicago. Started doing improv there. I didn't start doing stand-up till I moved to LA in like 2007.
And where'd you go to school in Chicago?
I went to this school called Roosevelt University. It's like a performing arts college downtown, small.
And what'd you major in?
I was an acting major. I was a theater arts major in college. I think it's so funny now for some reason, looking back. Because at the time, I was so serious about, like, dramatic. You know how theater people are? They're very, intense about, like, being an actor. And it's very, like...
The fucking hat with the loop-de-loop.
Yeah, totally. I will never forget my first day at Roosevelt, because I got a scholarship there, actually. So when I went to audition for my scholarship, they gave me a tour of the school. And I'll never forget, I walked into this class that was happening. It was called Vocal and Physical Prep. It was like 20 actors, like 20 kids. Basically, they're playing music, and the kids are blindfolded. And it looked like an orgy. They're all, like, crawling all over each other, and, like, their hands are on each other, like, feeling each other's body. And I asked the teacher, I go, like, what are they doing? And they were like, they're getting in touch with their insides. And I was like, this is a college class? Like, this is what's going to happen here? And she was like, yeah, this is one of the required courses sophomore year. And I was like, I'm going to this school. Like, this is insane. So I went there. But now, looking back, I just find it hilarious.
Did you go to Performing Arts High School? Don't they have those now? Like, what the fuck is up? I never knew what the fuck that was. Somebody told me that their daughter's transferring
I kind of did.
No, a charter performing arts
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, it's like fame. People were running around, jumping up and down the hallways and singing, breaking into dance.
That's how my college was, for sure. My high school, I did go to I kind of did. Like my senior year of high school, there was an option to like go into a vocational theater arts program that was, it was basically a whole bunch. All the schools in the county came together and there was a theater arts program you could specialize in. So I did that my senior year of high school. It was the only reason I graduated, though. I would never have made it through because I dropped out. I was so bored of school. I dropped out of high school, actually. And then the only reason I went back was because they had that program. I was like, all right, I guess I can make it through if I can be in there.
I took one fucking performing arts class all 4 years of high school, intro to performing arts. My freshman year, the teacher was a lesbian. She was pretty fucking cool. She was short. We fucked around, we fucked around the class. Like we went in there basically to fuck around. And one day she goes, I have an assignment for you guys to pass. You have to do an assignment. This is not just jokes and shit. And
Yeah.
You guys cracking jokes. You have to do something.
Huh.
You have to go up on stage and do a reading or do Shakespeare or do stand-up comedy. And I didn't know what the fuck to do. And I said, okay. And I went up there and I put on Shattered by the Stones and I lip-synced it and danced like
Shut
Mick Jagger.
up.
She gave me a fucking A and I blew the class up.
I would
And
love
she
to see
gave
that
me a
now.
Fucking A. Jesus. They don't tape none of this. But after he said this performing arts thing, I remember driving to the airport yesterday morning thinking of where did I pick this shit up? Like, where did this thing start? In the 6th grade, we had this teacher named Mr. Levito, and he used to have a wig. And Mr. Levito, for years, you thought he was one of those, he was a feminine guy,
Yeah.
But he was married, and he had kids, and he was just a sweetheart of a guy. So he was also part of the ecology club. So if you were part of the ecology club, you left school at 1 o'clock. You had options. You had options on Friday.
Yeah.
So on Fridays, you could leave at 12, but you had to go to Holy Rosary and take CCD class, which is sit up there with a priest and he talks to you about the Catholic religion for 2 hours before confirmation. Or you could be part of the ecology club, or you could sit in the class with a bunch of dunces and Levito would talk to you. So I was part of the ecology class, but I also fuck around with Levito's thing. And one day he's like, let's put some music on. One of the girls said, let's put music on. This was like a wild type independent class. And we put music on. And I went up on stage on the front of the class by the desk, and I just started singing Frankie Valli, My Eyes Adored You, right? And that was it. Like every Friday.
What year?
This is 1975. I'm 12. Wow. I got to be 12, maybe
It just clicked
11.
for you? That was it? You were like, I love this. I love doing this?
No, but it was with music.
Yeah.
Like I would just put music on and go up there and sing Frankie Valli with music, and people would clap and shit, and then I would switch it up to Michael Jackson. And then I got put in a band with Dean LaPrete, John Bender, and this dude Ray Canella, who calls into the podcast today still. He
so
worked
cool.
he worked for Sci-Fi for 30 years, Ray Canella, and quit and opened up his own Sci-Fi fucking YouTube channel. So this is how far back we go, the 6th grade, these 4 morons.
That's awesome.
And we used to go there, play Beatles songs, and just play over the beat. Like, that was our band. And one day we had, like, this big show, and these girls came in, and we started playing. They're like, cut. Like, what the fuck, guys? You guys aren't a band. You're playing song. And they just walked out, and we fired the bass player, and that was the end of our fucking band. That
Hilarious.
Because it was his idea to put the fucking songs and do it.
That's so funny.
But I didn't know anything about performing arts. I didn't even know I was performing. I had no fucking idea. I just thought that everybody did it. I don't know nothing. I don't.
Because on paper, it doesn't seem like something you'd enjoy, performing arts. Like I know you act now, but just knowing your personality and what you did in your younger days, it doesn't seem like you'd be going up for plays and all that stuff.
I like the acting. I really, really do like the acting. But I don't like that part of the acting, the breathing exercises.
Well, that's the thing I was going to say,
and
yeah.
the 4-year universities here on
Right.
Santa Monica. And, even acting classes. There's some acting classes in L.A. that are basically cults.
Totally.
They're just little cults. And Ivana Chubbuck is the main one.
Yeah.
She has what she does over there is like fucking brutality to kids. It just shocks you because they're not tough skin like us. We have stand-up skin.
Right.
Stand-up skin. To have stand-up skin, you had to go through shit somewhere along the line.
So true.
Okay, stand-up skin is a little thicker than acting skin.
Oh, for sure.
Acting skin, they run around scared. We're stand-ups. You doing what? Go fuck your mother. I got the club down the corner. I'll stand in that club until I get really funny, and I'll still eat your fucking lunch. So stand-up skin's a little thicker. These kids at this place on Highland, she abuses them. Like, they have to intern for free. They have to pay for fucking classes.
Crazy.
You know, she tells you when you're ready to audition.
What? No.
Like,
that's
shit
so funny.
like that.
It's so funny that you said that because I always say, when I first moved to LA, I wanted to act, right? And I used to go on auditions, whatever, and every once in a while I'd get something, but it wasn't like going great. And I started doing comedy, and then I loved stand-up. And I really just stopped caring about acting. I mean, I still like enjoyed it, but...
You go to auditions and you'll still fuck them up if you have to.
Yeah, but I just didn't care. Like, stand-up became like, I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I love. And then what happened is I just did stand-up for a few years, and I really kind of pretty much quit acting. And then I started getting a lot of auditions because people would see me doing stand-up. And then when I started going to my auditions and completely not giving a fuck, I swear to God, Joey, started booking everything. I remember the first, I think it was the first SAG job I booked, actually. I went in. I wasn't supposed to have an audition that day. My agent called me at the last minute. She's like, can you be there in like 15 minutes? I was like, I just left the gym. I look like shit. It was supposed to be to play like a sexy college student. I'm like, I'll go, but... And the girl was supposed to have like a Jewish accent from Brooklyn or something. It was totally the wrong role for me, right? I'm like, I mean, I'll go. I'm right there. I'll just swing by and do it. I took a headshot. I wrote on the back of the headshot a couple credits with a Sharpie and my phone number because I didn't even have a resume on me. And I went in and gave it to them. I was like, sorry, I was at the gym. I didn't know about this. And I read and I left and I got it. And forever after that, I would always go into auditions with that attitude, which is just like, I'd read over the lines a few times, I'd give it my best shot, but I really just didn't care anymore because I care so much more about my stage time in town. And now I almost always at least get a call back. Like, it's so crazy.
It's really interesting when you make that transition and the stand-up skin helps you later on. Stand-up skin, and you could tell when you meet people and they're like, this isn't going great. I don't know how long I'll make it. And they disappear and they pop up on Facebook. They're mowing lawns in Kentucky or some shit. And you could tell, stand-up, tough, it's a different. You know, I used to go to the first acting class I went to was this guy on Monday nights, Frank. And he was on Gardner stages, not downstairs, but on the side. It's still there. Monday nights, 7 to 9. And he was a great teacher. You know, he taught different shit. And then I said, fuck this shit. Because I couldn't sit there. Monday nights in the late 90s was the hottest stand-up night in town.
Oh, yeah?
You had the Laugh Factory Latino night. You had the fucking improv was Freaky Monday. Freaky Monday was a white show that turned into a black show.
I love that.
Okay, so it started from 8 to 8:35, white guys went up. At 8:35, a strong white guy would go up.
Yeah.
And then at 8:50, it became fucking, Def Jam.
Yeah.
And it was off the Chris
awesome.
Tucker, like all those guys. And then but Monday nights, and then what you strive to do in those days was to get a Triple Crown. Like I would get the improv, and then I would shoot over to the store. And then I would get Latino night, the Laugh Factory, and I shoot into a store. But once every 6 weeks, you got the improv, the Laugh Factory. Wow. And 8:05 and 8:20. Are you kidding me? I'm out of there by 9 o'clock, and I could play all 3 clubs. So Frank used to get pissed. So I stopped going to Frank.
Huh.
And then I hooked up with a black gay guy that had AIDS. And he was way towards the end. He was on Hollywood and Gower. Up that street, like if I'm on Sunset, instead of making a right, if I'm going east, instead of making a right towards the studios, I make a left towards Hollywood Boulevard. He was in those little shacks. And he had a couple guys, and you go in there, and he'd be coughing in a napkin. He was towards the end. He had the HIV.
Is this a joke?
This is not a fucking joke.
Did he lower his prices?
$20 an hour. He was fucking tremendous. He was a great coach. That's a guy who coached me like my big thing.
Joey,
I swear to God.
Where
you said you hooked
these people.
I answered an ad. Like there was an ad.
I bet you did.
It was like a acting coach, $35 or something. And I went to him a couple of times and I hit it up with him, and then he told me the truth. He goes, I have AIDS, it's in whatever. I don't know if I'm going to live, but I was one of the best acting coaches in this town in the 70s, blah, blah, blah. And I was open-minded to him. And then one day I called, listen to how tough he was. One day I called him at 9:30 and I go, I got the biggest audition of my life. I don't know how I'm going to do this. He goes, you know how you're going to do this? You're gonna fucking go and get some soup for me, and then come to my house. Feed me the soup, and I'll help you with the lines.
Aww.
And that was the Travolta movie that I almost got, but then Travolta pulled out to do the Scientology movie. And then I went to Miami, and I did a bunch of shit. When I came back, I lost contact with the guy. He was just a little black dude. That
You
was
lost contact with him forever? You've never heard from him again?
Never. I lost that. I had a fucking thing of numbers, and I had the car parked, and the registration was expired, and the car got towed, and they wouldn't let me back in the car unless I had the registration and title. So I lost everything. I went to his apartment. I mean, I'm one of those dudes. I'm the type of guy that I'll go to your apartment and knock on the door. Somebody had rented it. They said he moved.
No way.
So I don't know if he was with his mother, because he said he was thinking of moving with his mother.
Did you ever get your car back?
No, it wasn't really my car. It was somebody else's. I don't give a fuck.
Somebody's car got towed and you just never got it back. It's just gone. The fuck? You're the second person to tell me a story like that. What the hell is that?
Ann Maney gave Josh Wolf a car because she was in love with him. She wanted to suck his dick. So Josh Wolf said, "You borrow the fucking car." So Ann Maney went to New York to work for some company in New York. Ann Maney was a big hustler for Disney. Then they fired her because she was half retarded. And then she went to work for Fox as a talent scout. And then they fired her there too. And then she went to work. She did a project with the Bangles or some band that I'd rather shoot myself than listen to their music.
Oh my
and
God.
that went under the tubes. So in this process, she gave a car to Josh Wolf, and Josh Wolf let me use it. But the registration expired, so I kept driving the car. But these fucking ladies in Hollywood, the ticket ladies, would just give me a ticket. They were hunting me down. They would give me tickets. I must have had 10,000 tickets.
Shut up.
Finally, I was dating this little dirty stripper chick up here in Sherman Way, and I went up there to give her a stabbing. And when I was taking a shower, the car got towed. And
I'm sorry, to give her a stabbing?
And I got fucking, and I used to live in that car. So in other words, my apartment got towed. So I had everything I owned in that car. Headshots, boxing gloves, resumes, clothes. Everything. From 1995 on.
Do you think it's still in some impound lot somewhere?
No, it was over at fucking Gower for like a month or two. What's the one on Gower there? It was there. This is 1998, 1999. That car is still fucking there. Holy shit. It's going to cost more to get it out.
It's not.
Than what it's worth.
It's like a time capsule. I would just love to open it, like slip some guy $20 and just see what you had in your car in '98.
Headshots, boxing gloves. I probably had a Coke mirror under the seat, rolling papers. It was a great little car with great fucking air conditioning.
Can we talk about living in your car? Because no shit, I'm not kidding. I'm thinking about doing this because I have this idea. I like camping. Like, I love camping, actually, right? And Hollywood is really expensive, and you have to look really good in Hollywood to work on TV, and looking good is fucking expensive in this town. And I just started thinking that maybe instead of rent, that I should just live in my car and camp, like in Malibu or something, and just periscope the whole thing and just be like homeless in Hollywood, but then still keep up like all my usual things that I do, like keep my gym membership going, like keep going to the same hairdresser in Beverly Hills. And
how are you gonna look good if you're sleeping in a car?
That'd be the fun of the show. Is that
what kind of car you got?
I got an SUV. It's like a Hyundai. I think I could make it work. And I have a tent for 5 people. I got an air mattress. And I camped in national parks for 14 weeks one summer. So, like, I'm really outdoorsy. And I know how to cook on a fire. And then I thought, too, like, guys would think I'm low maintenance. And then, you know, they might want to date me more because they'd be like, oh, this bitch can live outside. And they'd be into that. And I'm not kidding. I'm seriously thinking of doing it. Like, my lease is up next month. And I'm like, why not do it for 1 month? Wouldn't it be great?
You could get away with it here. I'm just...
Yeah.
I don't know, LA
as
homeless
a man,
people.
Yeah, I feel fucking scared for you. Like, I wouldn't sleep at night if I knew you were on a beach in Malibu.
I wouldn't be on the beach. I'd get a campsite at like a state park.
What's the closest state park around here?
I think there's one in Malibu. It's called like Malibu Creek or something.
Yeah, and they got a waiting list because everybody wants to live in fucking Malibu. So you fuck there.
The Palisades has one too.
The Palisades. Okay, so after all your sets and shit at night,
right?
You have to fucking drive
to the Palisades
and set up your campsite. Get the fuck out of here.
But Joey, then also sometimes I could crash on people's couches, and sometimes maybe I hook up with somebody and I sleep at his house. I know that never happens, but in this fantasy that happens all the time. And then I'd periscope the whole show. I could get sponsors, you know, like I could get like camping companies, like maybe REI would sponsor me or something.
Have you lost your fucking... Do you have a gun?
I have a squirt gun that looks so real.
That's not gonna fucking work. You squirt me with a squirt gun, I'm gonna even get double pissed at you.
It looks real. I keep it in my nightstand in case someone breaks in.
Wouldn't it be great if
Is it filled with water?
how fucked up would it be
No,
if
it's empty.
somebody jerked off in that thing and squirted you, fucking drove around squirting you, and you didn't even know it? How fun is that? I would love to do something like that. What is this in here? Ice cream.
You know,
I don't fucking know.
The best part of it is that I keep my fake gun in my nightstand right next to this purple vibrator that I have, and I always imagine that like an intruder breaks in, I accidentally grab the wrong thing. But then I figure like that actually if a girl grabbed a vibrator and like waved that at you when you broke in, you'd probably be more freaked out and you'd probably leave. You'd think she was like psycho.
You're like, what the fuck is going on? I came to, and she's pulling the vibrator out, and fuck it, you just broke my train of thought. That's what would happen. Lee,
Right?
how you doing over there? It's
I'm trying to
slowly
imagine
taking
someone
over.
being homeless and like Periscope. I'm trying to figure out how. But
Right?
there are a lot of people here who do the RV thing, and I think it's
Oh,
really,
tons of them.
really interesting.
It's very interesting. I would, if I did it, I wouldn't do it in North Hudson, North Hollywood Park.
yeah, why not
Hell
in Santa
no.
Monica?
I'd do it at a fucking beach.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd sleep on the beach.
And think about it.
Get
Like,
an RV. Just get someone to give you an RV for a month.
Yeah, plan this out.
but I
But then
mean,
you wouldn't be homeless.
yeah, I wanted
Then
to
you
be
wouldn't be
homeless,
homeless.
for real. And I think it would be so funny. Imagine, like last night I went out for girls' night with my friend and we like dressed up on purpose because we wanted to like go out and meet guys. How funny would it be to like do all of that but still be homeless, but have like hot dresses and heels and makeup, but be living
But
in
you
your
got
car?
disadvantages, because I know you too. What happens if you can't wash your monkey for 12 hours? That's got some wang to it. What are you going to do then? What happens if you meet Johnny homeless and now your monkey smells homeless? What are you going to do?
It wouldn't, because I would keep my gym membership and I would shower at the gym.
Yeah, but the gym is fucking 10 miles away. So what are you going to do if Johnny's on the spot right now? How are you going to put some water in that cat?
Go to the beach.
Yeah.
Shower. I haven't thought that
Yeah,
far.
you got to think all this shit out, because I was homeless. So I fucking know this. I don't like being swelly and my ass
No.
stink. I like taking showers after I take a shit. All that. When you're
Me
fucking,
too.
Yeah, so when you're homeless, you can't do that shit.
Well-
So I was homeless. I lived 2 blocks from the gym. I had to piss out the window and shit out the window because I didn't have a shower there.
What?
And- oh yeah.
Where were you living?
In an
You were
office
living in a-
building over Josh Wolf's restaurant in Seattle, El Lobo Loco, in 1995. So I paid $125 a month for the office, and I would walk to the end. They had a little bathroom, no shower. So I would piss out the thing, and I would shit out the balcony, or I would walk 2 blocks and go to the gym. And I took 2 showers a day,
Wait.
and I also worked out like a motherfucker because
They didn't have a bath. You said that
they had a bathroom, like a pisser.
So why didn't you just shit in the pisser?
I don't know why. I think I liked it. I don't
You
fucking
just
know.
like
What's with
shitting
que-
out the window,
what's
is
with
what
the-
we just
what's
found
with
out.
The questions,
You just
know
like
what I'm saying?
shitting out windows. Do you still do that?
No, I'm an adult. I can't be shitting out windows.
I'd be afraid that I was gonna fall out. Every time you tell that story, I would just imagining falling out a window as you're shitting yourself.
I just think that, I mean, you're right. Some of it would be complicated, but for the most part, I don't think it'd be that bad. And if a guy, say you are going to hook up with someone, you're not going to do it in your car. You're going to go back to their place, and then you just, real quick, like, oh, I got to use your bathroom and freshen up.
Would you hook up with a homeless guy?
I have. I mean, I kind of dated a homeless guy for a little while.
Are you fucking nuts?
Well, I mean, it was for just a couple weeks.
And where'd you pick him up? On the corner? Bring him home, give him a stab, and drop him off on the corner? On his fucking tent?
He wasn't homeless when I met him. He was living in an apartment.
And what happened?
And he got evicted, like right after we met. He got evicted and he had nowhere to live. So he was living in his car. And so I just kind of would let him crash at my place, every once in a while and take a shower and stuff. He's really hot and we had amazing sex. But that goes a long way.
No, it doesn't. Now, how'd you get up with the stand-up comedy?
I just had this realization that I might be coming off as crazy.
Yeah, fuck. Eat some more star, please.
It's
to
Joey's
calm
fault.
you
He
down.
gave me a star with weed in it.
It's the Star of Death.
The Star of Death.
I really want to talk to those RV people, like, because they all park next to each other. I want to know what, like, there's one over here, on Oxnard with across from the Macy's, and they have like a whole family.
There is?
Yeah.
Up here?
Yeah, and it's like they have kids in it, and it's just like,
They live in different locations, and they move at night.
yeah.
Or they move in the daytime. They're in NoHo Park in the daytime, and they set chairs out there. When I go there and do kettlebells, I'll see people out there. Hey, listen, man. If I didn't have my wife. I used to have a girlfriend, and she was cheap as fuck, and she figured out having an RV one day, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't a bad deal. She lived in a park that catered to that. So you move into these parks and you pay like $400 a month. They got swimming pools and gyms,
yes,
and supermarkets
telling
and movie theaters.
I know.
It's fucking amazing. I
Amazing.
couldn't believe it. I couldn't fucking believe it. Well, that's where she lived in Renton, Washington. And I used to stay up there with her. It was a hike from Seattle. But once I went up there, I would stay up there for 3 days. I could get weed on the fucking reservation.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Let me tell you, one summer I did this tour, okay, and it was for like the national parks, and so the whole summer we camped because they gave us hotel per diem. Instead of using that, we just camped the whole summer. And we stayed in a lot of those places, and it is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It really is.
And the reason that I think I would like it is because I remember being the least stressed out I ever was in my life. I didn't have a whole bunch of clothes to go through every day to decide what to wear. I didn't have like, when the sun went down, I'd go to sleep. When the sun came up, I'd wake up. There was no like stress. I just felt really relaxed. And I feel like maybe sometimes overwhelmed with my apartment. I look at homeless guys sleeping on a bench in the park, and sometimes I think that doesn't look that bad. It just looks kind of relaxing. I'm telling you.
It's fucking crazy being homeless and sleeping outside. When you go on the road and you're a comic, there's nights that you fucking your bus lands in El Paso, in Albany, at 4 in the morning, but the connecting bus to Buffalo doesn't come in until 7 in the morning, and you're there with fucking homeless people outside, and you sit there and you smoke your cigarette, but you're watching them, and you're like, this is fucking interesting shit.
It really
is. An
is.
interesting
I love
lifestyle.
talking to them. Yeah.
It's fucked up to think about. Like it's whenever you see like a bad one, like they're just passed out, and it's just
yeah.
It's like wow, like knowing like you don't have anywhere to go. Like that's the craziest part.
Well, the difference is there's homeless people who do it because they have to, and then there's homeless people who choose it. Like I was in Moab, Utah, and I met a guy who was like the most homeless looking guy I've ever seen. And I remember asking him, I was like, where do you live? Because it's so hot there. I was like, you live under a bridge? You have shade? And he's like, no, I love the sun. I just love living outside. Like he just loved living outside. Like he chose it. So I think the ones you see passed out are probably a little more like,
drunk.
They're addicts and stuff.
Yeah, they're all fucked up. So back to the conversation at hand. When did you get into comedy?
Right, sorry. So I started doing stand-up in like 2007, but I did it for about 3 years, and then I booked that gig where I was emceeing. And then I left LA for like 3 years and just was emceeing full-time, which I wasn't really doing comedy at all. But in a weird way, I came back, and I felt like when I got back to doing stand-up, I was much better. From being on stage all that time. Yeah, and then I've been back about 3.5 years doing it since.
I saw you out a couple times, but the fucking bikini things make me laugh. And I didn't want you to, I never didn't want you to think, there's a big thing with me with women in comedy. Like, I like women in comedy. I really support women in comedy. I know when a woman is faking the funk, and I know when a woman is doing comedy. I know when a woman comes into the comedy store and says, I want somebody to write for me. Suck your dick. You just want to be a fucking star in 2 weeks.
Do that?
Oh, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But, I used to see the bikini things, and I would just die because they're funny. It's not a broad in a bikini. It's a broad in a bikini who just doesn't give a fuck. But to see the white people around her, in all those little pictures, the one when you're dancing at the kid thing with some black guy and you're just jumping up and down was one of the funniest things I ever saw. When you went and bought the printer, was
thanks.
fucking funny.
Thanks.
And then I would talk about you to people, and I gotta tell you, man, when you go into the store and you see somebody, you're like, you know what? Yeah, I say a couple funny things, but in reality, I'm just replacing that guy. I'm just replacing that guy. When you see Noe Gonzalez, he was replacing Angel Salazar. When you see different people, when you saw Ralphie May, he was replacing that big fat guy that used to hang out at the comedy store with the limos. That was crazy with the fucking southern hat. You ever see the picture of him in the back, wild, whatever? You see these people. When I saw you and I saw you doing that stuff, you reminded me of a young Felicia when I first met Felicia. And then I caught you some night at the belly room. I went upstairs for something, and I caught the last 3 minutes here, and I remember telling Josh Wolf, I go, that fucking girl, Kate Quigley, she's not just a fucking bikini. That girl's fucking funny. You hustle. You're out every night. You know, you're not blowing guys every fucking night, which I would hear about, you know.
Thank you.
And that takes a lot to be a woman comic. You know, we had somebody in here a couple months ago, and I know a girl, Georgia, who I love from Australia. She used to be a comedian at the Comedy Store. And she made a statement, you know, they were talking about all these women that get abused doing comedy, how it's a boys' game, and blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. And she wrote, you know, that's why I quit comedy. You don't know what it's like to get sexually harassed every night. And I thought about Kate Quigley when I read that. I go, you get sexually harassed every fucking night. I mean, you get sexually harassed everywhere, Kate Quigley. I love you to death, but if I would have met you 30 years ago, I would have asked you point blank, let's get a rock of coke and put it in your pussy and shit. Put
Thank
that
you.
bikini to the side. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you don't look at women like that. Now I look at you, and like I said, I've been at the Comedy Store. I've seen comics come and go. I've seen guys come and go. But I know a woman when I know she's trying to pull a fucking quickie. You know, they come into town. They think they have they think, I could do this. I could be, you know, Natasha Leggero. I could be, they never think about the work.
Yeah.
And they come into town, and they do this, and you see them, and they make a little hedgeway, but they're sucking this guy's dick, they're sleeping with this guy, and then you see them 2 years later, and they're just fucking beat up. Like, they're just beat up emotionally. And then they just disappear.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't know. Well, thank you, first of all. It is funny, the sexual harassment thing, this is the thing. It does happen. And every once in a while, it'll actually annoy me, but then I have to go, well, I kind of bring it on myself. I mean, I post these photos and stuff. There's a double standard if I'm like, oh, my Instagram, you know, 1 in every 7 photos is me in a bikini, and then I don't expect guy comics to...
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, I just started hearing about you a few months ago, especially like with the Periscope show. And when a guy hears about, like, girls in bikini, you're going to go look. But even with your Instagram photos, it's not super close up. It's like there's girls out there who do Periscope, and it's just all boobs. Which is great, but it's almost kind of when you first
Well, you
start
have a
looking
little
at your
dignity
stuff,
to you,
right,
and that's why you're sitting
but
in
it's
that
not.
chair.
But it's
That's
not
why
about the
I love you to
bikini. It's
death.
not about the bikini. It's a joke.
You're right. It's supposed to be, the reason they're like the way they are, the bikini photos I do is, and for people that don't know what I do, is I go into random places where you shouldn't wear a bikini, and I take photos of people's reactions, basically, like I did the Church of Scientology, or like a cemetery, whatever. There were no people in the cemetery, actually. That one I felt weird about. But the thing is that the point isn't for it to be sexy. What it was originally was just, you know, I am not an ugly girl. And so in my mind, I was like, well, I want to pick up Instagram followers, you know, using some sexy photos. But since I'm a comedian, there needs to be a way that they're funny. And so the whole in a bikini thing was just a way to try to kind of merge those things. But when you look at the photos, I don't think they're sexy. And like, I know some guys do because it's a bikini. But what I love about those is I get more comments from girls usually when I post those that think they're so funny, which I love. Like everything I do, guys are easy to get. It's like you're a chick with tits. Guys will follow you anywhere. But to get girls to like you, that's really more what I care about. But I have fun doing those. And when it comes to stage and when it comes to like my stand-up, the truth is I'm a perfectionist and I love comedy, you know, and I love watching comedy and like I want to be a great comic. And so for me, like getting on stage and putting in the work, like it's work, but it doesn't feel like work, you know, because I really like love doing it. If I could get up 3 times a night, I would get up 3 times. I mean, we all would get up 3 times a night, but there's nothing better than when you put in the work and you can tell you're getting better and it just feels awesome.
It's just, you see so many people, like I've been here 18 years and I've come across people who want somebody else to do the, what's that expression? Some people walk the walk, other people want you to walk it for them, you know.
I never heard it. Sounds good.
Something. The one that
I
they
like
say
it.
on the black dude with the piano, the pimp, it's hard out here for a pimp when you're trying to get the money for the rent. Remember that
I know
movie?
what you're talking about, but I don't. But I don't.
He says it in that movie. Some people like to walk the walk. Some people like other people to walk from. You know, at the store I've met, when I first got to the store, I was crazy. I was doing blow every night, and I could pick out crazy chicks. And they come to the store. Yeah, I want to do this. And you're sitting there going, where are you coming from now? And they're attacking the career from the sexiness part.
Yeah.
And I go, in my head, I go, this chick is not going to make it. There was one Asian girl in particular. One Asian girl who, I mean, wanted it so bad, but she wouldn't go on stage. And
Sure. What?
like, it was fucking crazy, right?
What do you mean?
Like, she just, I want to do stand-up, but, you meet these fucking people, but the women are really out of their minds. There was this one blonde that used to come to the fucking comedy store and pull me aside and go, you've got to fucking help me. Like, you've got to help me. And I go, I don't know what to tell you. Where did you just come from? No, I got to be a regular here. I got to sign with 3 Arts. I'm running out of fucking time, And those people always creep me the fuck out. This chick was crazy.
I mean, I'm crazy.
But not like desperado crazy.
Well, no. But the thing is that, I mean, for me, when my stand-up turned a corner, when I felt it turned a corner, is when I just started having fun.
That's it.
That's
what it is.
Because I remember at the beginning getting on stage and you're like, I have to be funny and my jokes have to be good and someone might see me that likes me and whatever. And I remember one night that I got on stage and I was just really fucking tired and I really didn't feel like going up and I felt like it was kind of almost like I threw it away. But I had so much fun. I just didn't care. I went up. It's kind of like what I was talking about with acting. It's not that I don't care, but it's like when you don't care so much about the audience reaction, you're like, I think this shit is funny. I'm just going to have fun up here. Then they like you. Then they think you're funny. And then that's when, for me, it like turned a corner. I was like, oh, this is just, I'm going to just have fun up here. I'm going to start having fun up here. And the more I try to have fun on stage, the funnier my shit gets,
Kay don't understand this a lot. Maybe some people home don't understand it. Sometimes you're going for an audition. And you have to have sheets in your hand, And I was good. I always knew how to take an audition, go to the first one, and then while I was doing the first one, I would write the notes for the second one because I wanted the second audition to be different and better. So when I would go in for my first audition, I already knew what I was going to do in the callback. You understand me? That's how I set my shit up. So they're like, this motherfucker came in with 2 different fucking reads, both of them meaning the point. But what I would also do, I would study these sheets. And I remember going in front of maybe 5 fucking producers, like the guy from Drugstore Cowboy, the director, Gus Van Zandt. I remember going up in front of, oh my God, Reuben Cannon with Wesley Snipes in the room for the movie fucking Undisputed. And meanwhile, in the audition, this is what happened when I cared. My fucking hand
shaking
from the nerves.
Yeah, me too.
People at home, you don't have no idea what that's like when you care.
You're so right.
And you're going for broke. And all of a sudden, your hand will not stop fucking twitching. And this annoying piece of paper you hear is what happens to you in front of your future.
Yeah.
This is your future. You have these 5 people that are going to decide on that. And right there, the director's like, listen, if he's cracking in the audition, what's he going to do when Wesley Snipes is looking at him? And there's hot cameras, and it's 2 a.m. Done. You don't know how many movies I blew because I cared too much. Because in the back of my mind, in the back of my psyche, I put that this was it. This was for all the marbles. This was going to change my life. I stopped caring.
Yep.
Once you stop that caring, and then once you stop caring, you learn how to formulate your 6 minutes comedy routine into those auditions, which now it becomes fucking lethal because you're bringing in a weapon that nobody else is bringing in, even if it's a drama. Even if it's a fucking drama. There's times I go in for a drama and I won't get it because the comedy leaks through, and they're like, well, we can't bring this motherfucker in here.
I do that too.
Oh, yeah, the comedy leaks through. But when you're really focused, the comedy won't leak through. My eyeball will be straight. Whatever fucking happens to my eye will be straight. But that's what happens when you care. Because you think this is the end-all, be-all, and it's really not. It's about having fun. And, okay, the first time you read, your hand might twitch like that, and then the director calms you down and says, listen, let's just have some fun here. Fuck all that noise. And then, but sometimes once your hand starts twitching, that motherfucker's going to twitch till you get to the car. It don't stop till you put your hand on the steering wheel and you're like, fuck!
So true.
Fuck!
So glad it's not just me. It's so true. Oh, God.
And it happens with stand-up. When I want to go out there and kill, I'm not going to kill. Give me 2 of those fucking stars, and let me watch a fucking TV game, a TV show before I go on stage, and there's nobody talking to me. And then 3 minutes before that, somebody come into the room and annoy me. and it's all over because I'm not feeling it because of the star, and I'm not thinking about it. You're dead. It's once I think about going on stage and how I have to kill CBS is there. This joke has to work. You know, that sucks. Once they put that fucking pressure on you, that sucks fucking dick right there.
Yeah, that's the worst.
It sucks because that happens to like with that Barry Katz thing where I said when I went like 11 interviews before I got like my second job. When you say like you have to stop caring, it's frustrating for people because either A, they think they don't care, like they think they're not caring, but you can't force it, and then B, like when people are going in for job interviews, you can't really not care until you already have a job. So it's hard to get to that point.
It all starts with your state of mind. Okay, so here it is. This is your office, Lee. All right, and I gotta come to the office and write my name on the fucking thing and then knock on the door and then you're gonna come out and get me. When I'm out there breathing, I'm fucking psyching myself up to come in here. It all starts at that door. Doesn't even start when you sit down. It all starts in there because if I come in correctly and I sit down, listen, man, you could smell it. You ever smell something on somebody? You definitely know when a guy wants to fuck you when a guy's being
shit.
nice. Okay? You know, when I was a salesman, they'd say, don't let people know you have to pay the rent.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, I don't know how, I'm not saying, not that you go up to somebody and go, hi, I need to pay the rent this month. No, it comes out through your body language. It comes out through your energy. So sometimes it all starts with your energy in your head. I'm not going to be nervous. I'm going to go in there and fuck this motherfucker up. Fuck him. And if I don't get the job, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a Frenchman's fuck. If you tell yourself that before you go in there, then you might be a little bit more loose.
There's like a difference between wanting something and being like desperate for something. Like, look, you could want, like maybe there's a gig that you want, so that's okay. But I think what it is, like for me, this is going to sound so fucking cheesy, but for me what it is I'm really happy. I finally figured out what makes me happy in life, and I don't base my happiness on whether or not I get this TV show or whether or not I don't even base my happiness on like my next, if I go on stage, I'm happy. I got to go on stage. I have fun on stage always. And I'm happy when I get to go surfing. I found things outside of the business that make me happy. So then I look at the business as a job, and there's like parts of the career I'd like to have more than other parts of the career. But at the end of the day, that's my job, and that's one part of my life, but there's all this other shit that makes me happy. So if something happens and I lose that job, that would suck, but I still have these other things. I think so many people in show business are just like so obsessed with whatever making it is that they just lose sight of everything else. And that's why there's that desperation. It's like, I'm going to lose my apartment, I'm going to lose my car, I'm going to, and I think that's why people care. I think when you finally like find what makes you really happy outside of it, that's when you start to be like, oh, well, I'd like to have that job. Hopefully I get it.
Hopefully I get it, but if I don't...
I'm going to go see this, movie with my friends later.
I still got to go to New York and, at the end of September and knock them fucking dead.
Yeah.
This is all a part of my arsenal. No, I get all that stuff. It all starts in your mind. Because people could smell the sense of urgency. They could smell your barracuda coming in.
Yeah.
If I come in here and I don't really... It's like when you go to auditions for commercials. They're looking for a chef, and you actually see a guy that puts on a chef hat and a chef shirt. And
I try to bang him.
And you stab that motherfucker like you really want to stab him like you just lost. I'd rather you come in here and do something that a chef would do, like touch his nose or touch their hat. That's what they're looking for.
Bring food.
And this shit that we're talking about runs in your whole life. Kate, how many times have you liked a guy? You really like this guy? And all of a sudden, nothing's going on. You take him home. Because I
want him too bad.
You take him home. You make out with him. It's okay. He goes. He doesn't call you. You call him 2 days later. Now you're desperado. Now this goes on and on. Then one day you go, fuck this guy. And all of a sudden he sees you out one night with a guy that you're not even banging. He just sees you with a guy. And by the time you get home, your phone is blowing up.
Yep.
Because it's better to want than to have.
That's
and
it.
sometimes you just got to say, you know what? Fuck this bitch. And they're all over you. Mm-hmm. They're all over you.
You're totally right.
And this applies to work. This applies to
so annoying.
Career.
I wish it didn't apply to men, but it does. I'm the worst at that. I always start out real cool. I act like I'm not that into it. I don't care. And then the second they pull away even like a smidge, I'm like, I gotta get him back. And I go too far, and then they don't want me anymore.
Where's Tony Bennett, that cocksucker? Don't just sit there. You want to be a star?
No.
You sure? Your face. You look like you got you ate that bad fucking wholesale sushi you've been eating.
Oh my god, I'm fine. I'm just really fucked. You give me so much.
I gave you nothing. I gave you 2 little fucking stars.
Do you guys eat these stars every episode?
We do something.
I really like these. I gotta get some.
Are you
gonna
finish it or what? You gonna leave that?
I've been eating bites of it every 10 minutes.
It's like a little orphan.
Well, you know, I don't do so. I seriously, in the last 6 months, I've only smoked weed maybe 3 times.
Perfect.
But I want to learn. I actually asked. I saw Ben Glebe the other night. You know Ben, right?
Ben's a great guy.
Yeah, I asked him if he would take me to the weed store and teach me about because I need something that's a little bit of an upper to help me concentrate. But
they have that. They'll just tell you there.
Oh, I don't have to take a comic with me.
No. They'll tell you what. It depends.
I don't know what to take, and then I want a sleeping aid.
You need a little
They're
indica.
all sleeping aids.
Yeah, you need a little indica in the daytime, a little sativa to calm you down, to flip it. Like when I was a kid, there was a kid in my neighborhood who Lee and I bumped into, a little crazy Rich. He used to jump off roofs and he got stabbed and shit.
Guy from Chan's?
The guy at Chan's. They used to give him speed when he was 12 because that would calm him down. I think the same thing would work for you. Your mind's everywhere. You're always thinking. You're always working. You just need something to slow you down, to organize your mind maybe a little more, to slow you down. That's it. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't need Adderall or nothing.
Sometimes I feel like my brain is going to explode. There's so much going on. Yeah, totally.
I know you have insomnia too. You can't sleep. Once you go to bed, that's when the movie turns on in your head. Your life story turns on at 1 in the morning.
Yeah, you're right.
You see yourself with Ben Affleck as his nanny and shit.
God.
Next thing you know, she fucking beats
you.
No, I just know this shit.
I know, but that's amazing.
But that's what you have is a great compliment, man. And I've heard it from a couple guys say it, that not only is she really pretty, but she's getting funny, or she's fucking funny.
That's really nice.
And then I see the other half of you. I see you out there hustling. I don't see you complaining on Facebook or bitching about, I went for an audition, the guy wanted me to suck his dick. Listen, all these people that suck the Cosby's dick, when Cosby's offering you a drink, it's like side control in jiu-jitsu. You fucked up 4 steps ago. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God.
If Cosby's offering you a drink, you fucked up 4 steps ago. You didn't fuck up with the drink.
Right. Yeah.
4 steps ago. What's the first? Back stress that motherfucker 4 steps. You know what the 4th step was? When you even talked to that black Lucifer. When you even talked to that black
Come on, you
Lucifer.
wouldn't have talked to Bill Cosby if he came up to you back before
listen,
all this?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay, half of them were in relationships, half of them were married where it happens. What's rule number 1? What's rule number 1?
If a guy talks
I like you. I love you to death, Kate. We
Yeah.
go on the road. I take you on the road or something. You're never going to go in my hotel room as much as...
Of course not.
I want to see your little flying pussy.
Thank
and
you.
I'm never going to go into your room,
you.
okay?
No,
it's
you're
just
right.
little fucking things.
You're right.
Okay? If you call me in the morning and go, Joe, you're not going to believe this. I'm in the hospital. I let some guy come up to my room to smoke pot. I love you, and I'm going to be there for you, but after 2 days, I'm going to go, okay, can I talk to you for a second? Why was he in your fucking room?
Yeah, totally.
Where'd you meet? Oh, I met him on the way to 7-Eleven. So, you know what? I should punch you in the fucking head, because there's these things that you shouldn't fucking do. If you're a married woman, what the fuck are you doing in my
I
trailer?
agree with you 100%.
You know what? I feel uncomfortable. No, Mr. Cosby, I'll see you next time. I got to go.
Yeah, I agree.
So if he offered you a fucking cocktail, a dick drink, you fucked up 4 steps ago.
It depends, though. If I was at a bar and Bill Cosby's sitting at the bar and I walk up to the bar to get a drink and he's like,
oh, okay.
Can I buy you a drink? I would totally take a drink then and have a talk with him, just because I would want to pick his brain about
But then you're on time release because he's watching you. You're on a 40-minute lapse. He's going to try to get you out of it in 22.
Right.
By the time he gets you to the car, that's 30.
Yeah.
You'll pass on the way to the studio. He picks you up. Your skirt's half off.
No way.
What a surprise. Oh,
no,
my
man.
God. I didn't know you wanted me to eat your pussy. If not, you wouldn't have pulled up your skirt.
I mean, right. No, you have a point. I would never leave with a if I know a guy's married, that's it for me. I don't talk to him after that. Like, the minute I know.
I just don't understand what you're doing in the guy's room. And listen, man, everybody likes to flirt. I like to flirt. You like to flirt. You work in a bar, you got to flirt.
Sure.
Everybody likes to flirt, but everybody knows the time it gets shut off.
Right, yeah, totally.
And that's the other end of the fucking Cosby thing that I was thinking about, man. He got to the point where he gave you a fucking drink. If you're in my place and I'm giving you a drink, that means you're going down, Jack. We already established it. I gave you a line of Coke. We know what time it is. Listen, shit's going to get hairy later. We got an ounce to blow here.
Well, the girl, they never said that, Well, some of them said that he was helping with acting and stuff, but
Get the fuck out.
but most of them probably would have had sex with him if he didn't drug them.
Totally.
I think that's the thing is that he drugged them.
If you go back to a guy's apartment with the intention of having a drink, you're planning to fuck that guy. I mean, there's no other reason to go back there. So they definitely I think that he could have fucked them anyway.
I like your style. Kate don't fuck around. She goes, now you know it. Kate goes back to your house. What's remember in Pretty Women when she's trying to seduce Richard
Pretty
Gere?
Woman, yeah.
Remember Pretty Woman? She's like, come on, listen, I'm a sure thing. Remember when she's that's the best part of the movie when she goes,
I mean, that's
I'm
it.
a sure thing.
Who is going back to a if a guy says to me, like any time a guy says to me, do you want to go to my place? I just assume it means sex. That's what it means every time, right?
You go, hold on, let me go to the bathroom and let me go to the little girl's room and freshen up.
Sex.
You go in there, you take a pee. You take a little sniff, make sure the coast is clear. There's no problems. There's no dingleberries hanging from your underwear. You know
what if the coast isn't clear?
Then you gotta go back out there and tell the guy, listen, I gotta give you a rain check because my grandmother just died. She had a stroke. I gotta go home and fucking.
That would never happen to me. I keep my shit so clean. I'm obsessive.
No, that's the same. That's what I'm saying. You have to be obsessive. How you gonna be homeless? 6-7 hours
I'd be
out in the
fine.
sun? No, you're not gonna be fine. 6-7 hours. That shit develops. You got old condom juice in there. You know what I'm saying?
No, Joey. That would happen now if that was going to happen. I shower a lot. I shower a couple times a day now. I shower in the morning, then after my workout, sometimes again, and then sometimes even before bed.
But if you're homeless, what are you going to do? But you shower at
Campgrounds
home.
have showers.
But you're going to go back there in the middle of the night like fucking...
I would. I think I could make this work.
You're like one of Cosby's victims. You can't take a shower at 11 o'clock at night in a campground. I'll come crawling
Why
through
not?
Because that's how you get stabbed and beat up.
I feel like this is going to be, what's going to be cool about this is if I do this and I make it and I come out looking the same as I went in, you're going to be really impressed and you're going to...
I'm still impressed.
You should come visit me at my campsite.
I was going to say, you're going to do a podcast from the homeless campsite?
I would not have you here if you don't impress me in so many different avenues. I love you. Because I've just seen it. I've just seen the demise of women in comedy, and I see the route. And I see the route you're taking, and it's on a fucking fine line, but I love it. You push the envelope. It's not like you're out there and I'm hearing fucking stories and you're out there just taking titty shots or whatever. You're out there fucking working every night. You go to men's rooms. I see you in a lot of rooms that you got to have balls. There's guys hanging around. It's not like a library with a bunch of women with glasses and tattoos.
Thank you.
Talking about how creative they are. It's women's night. Oh, my God. It's so liberating drinking this tea. Get the fuck out of here. I'm at the fucking Ha-Ha banging out with Jack Jr. I got to watch my drink.
God.
You go to the Ha-Ha with Jack Jr. and Vinny, you got to watch your drink. That's Cosby's nephews. Rene Garcia. Those are my dogs, the Agostino. Look at you. You're like, oh, shit, I have drank off their house. Woke up with my bra on backwards.
No, but you know what the thing is for me? I think the reason I just fit in so well in comedy is because I was always a tomboy and all my friends were always dudes. Always.
How's your relationship with your dad? You got brothers?
I have bad daddy issues, if that's what you're trying to get. I have a brother and a little sister. My dad, I mean, he's still in my life, but my parents split up when I was in 4th grade, and my dad was pretty absent. Like, I'd see him maybe once a week, but a lot of times he'd blow it off. And it wasn't until I was a grown-up he kind of like started to really make an effort to be like a better father. But now he's hilarious because now I think he's trying to overcompensate for that time because he's like overly supportive. Like, get this. I have a show on Playboy TV, right? My fucking dad calls me and is like, hey, I just wanted you to know I got the Playboy channel just to watch your show. I ordered it just... I'm like, this is the most disgusting thing your dad... I don't want my dad, of anyone, to not watch this show. I don't want my dad watch it. Like, I'm not naked in it, but the whole thing's about sex. I'm talking about what I've tried and what I haven't tried. And like, my biggest fear is like, my dad watching like some other show on the Playboy channel with his dick in his hand, and then like a commercial runs for my show, and like suddenly I'm on the screen. But he's so proud. He has his friends over to watch the show. Friends and family, they come over and he texts me and he's like, we're all watching your show, and I just want to kill myself. It's so embarrassing.
Hey, man, it's a different type of pride. You're out here. They know you're doing it. He was absent for a long time. And you talk to him every day now?
No, maybe like once or twice a week we talk on the phone. I talk to my mom every day. I'm much closer with my mom.
Very nice.
Do you feel bad about being out here? Because I just went to visit my mom, and she's fine with me being here. And this is where I'm going to be for a while. But like, this is... My dad just visited, and then I went to go see my mom, and for a second I was like, am I being selfish by being out here? But I think she's happy.
What the fuck would she be doing in Cuyahoga Falls? What the fuck would she be doing in Cuyahoga Falls?
No, exactly.
You
but
know
I'm-
how many times I've gone on the road and I've walked into a small place and I've seen a girl that looks like Kate and I've wanted to reach over and say, listen, pack your bags and get the fuck out of here. You have no idea what your future runs.
Thank you.
You're dating this fucking chubby guy behind the counter, Bubba, who wants to, come here, let me talk to you, let me straighten you out. You gotta get on the bus.
That's so
They
funny.
gotta see you in Hollywood because you're wasting your time. What are you gonna do here? You're gonna bang a UPS guy and have 3 kids, and
Yeah.
then nobody's gonna get to see you. Then you're gonna be the hot mommy at the pool. Take a
No.
chance. Columbus did go out to Hollywood, shake that ass. Let's see how we can. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then after 5 or 6 years, if you don't like it, you meet a director and you move back to where the fuck you're from, and you have a couple kids, and but at least you gave it a fucking college try.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, for me, when I was like 6 or 7 years old, I wanted to work on TV. Like, I told my mom, and I wanted her to move us to California. And so, like, my whole life, I talked about wanting to move to LA. So it was like the kind of thing where, I mean, my mom and dad are super supportive. They want me to be here. I will say, I do sometimes feel a little bad because my mom has lupus, and so sometimes she's pretty sick, and I worry, like, oh, I'm missing all this time with her. But I know she wouldn't want me to be there because I wouldn't be happy. So, I mean, no, I don't feel bad being out here. What were you
Oh no, it's not like an overall feeling, but every once in a while I'll sit there and I'll talk to her and be like, when it's snowing and she's shoveling out her own car, I'm like, God, like, am I being an asshole? But
No way. You're just
Yeah.
smarter.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. This is a really cool moving to LA story, but the reason I ended up moving out here is because I had a moment. I was at a bar in Chicago. It was right out of college. I was working as like a Jack Daniels girl, I think. And I was at the bar, and there's this old guy sitting on a stool. He's probably like 75 years old. We started talking, and he asked me, what do you want to do besides this? And I was like, oh, I always wanted to work in show business. Like, I want to act. And the guy was like, why are you here? And I was like, well, Chicago's not a bad place. I mean, I got married. I was married at the time, and I got a scholarship here. And the guy was like, my whole life I wanted to work in show business. I always regretted I never moved to Hollywood, and then I got married. I had kids. I bought a house, and I was in debt, and I never got to do it. And this old guy sitting on the stool, and he's like, it's my one regret. And I thought he was going to cry. He was so, like, wistful about it.
Sure.
And I went home that night. I said to my husband at the time, I was like, listen, I'm moving to LA. Like, if you want to come, that's great, but I have to do it. I don't want to be 75 sitting on a bar stool like, why didn't I ever go out there? And so he was like, okay, when? And I was like, next week. I literally quit my job. He stayed in Chicago. I packed my car and drove to LA the
What
next
happened to
week.
the husband?
He stayed there for like 6 months, and he kind of worked. And then he came out here, and then we lived out here together for a couple years, and then we split up.
Where is he now?
He lives in New York City. He works
Good.
in like fashion now.
Good. You still talk to him and stuff?
Yeah, we're cool. Like, we talk every few months, actually.
I don't get frustrated. I just can't believe it at times. Like, I didn't listen to a lot of people, but I listened to a lot of people. Like, there was a select people that I listened to.
You mean
growing
about-
up. When I was growing up, I didn't have parents, so after I was like 16, I was out there on my own, and there was people that I just knew they had life experiences that I would listen to. A lot of people, I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to be when I was 21.
Yeah.
You're very fortunate. I just knew I didn't want to stay there. Like, I'm like, I just don't want to fucking stay home. Like,
Yeah.
New York is nice, and I got this all to myself, and I get drugs, and I get machine guns, but this isn't what I really want to fucking do. I didn't know I wanted to be in the entertainment business. I like movies,
Yeah.
And it's weird when I see Lee and D'Agostino and I tell them things, and, they think I'm telling them, like, to torture them. But I'm telling them because nobody else will tell you these things, like how lucky you are. I did Ryan Sickler's
The
podcast
crab
last week.
feast. Or whatever.
When Ryan Sickler was here, Ryan Sickler has a certain gift. You know why? Because Ryan Sickler lost his parents at an early age. So he knows how to pick my mind. And he took those stories out of me the first time about the Chinese guy was shaken down and all that. And we had a good laugh. Well, last week he tapped into a part of my life where I had a hard time last week, Lee. I don't know if you noticed I was a little off last week. I had a hard time with that. Like, I thought about it the next day, like, that was some fucking tough 18 months. Like, I robbed this. It was like one story after the other. Martin the Fag, the Meadowlands Inn, beating up Santa Claus, you know, John Lennon. I was like, and I went home and I really feel guilty about that part of my life all of a sudden.
Huh.
But I don't know how to. I told my wife tonight, I said, you know what was bothering me last week? From 1979 to 1984, I caused fucking havoc, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't even know where to start and apologize. Like, who to say, hey,
Yeah.
I'm really fucking sorry for my behavior. Because I remember 1,000 things I did. There's got to be 1,000 that I fucking forgot that were just as fucking bad. You know?
That's crazy.
So you want to apologize to everybody?
I don't know. I'm not saying apologize. I just wouldn't know where to start to fix that part of my life. But one thing, even though I was going through a hard time, I took advice from different people. And I took good advice, you know, like I took the good shit and I ran with it. And you have to really take advice from older people will tell you, fuck it, go for it. Like you meet somebody who's old and they'll look you in the face and go, hey man, you want to do something, it's done tomorrow. But no. I don't want you to go home and make a plan and tell me in 18 months. I'm talking about tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is the pressure. It's like a silent pressure you have to put on yourself. That's why I was doing that. When I went to somebody and go, I'm thinking of going to Colorado, but I'm going to let my friends go out first. And he's like, no, you're not. You're going next week. You're going with them. Because if not, you procrastinate.
Right.
That's what we do. We procrastinate. You know, we'll find every excuse not to do this and not to do that. I'm happy you took that guy's advice. And
Me
something
too.
in his tone. Just something, you know.
I just remember just thinking, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to regret anything. I haven't done anything I regret in life. I don't want to regret that, you know? So.
How long had you been married at that point?
I got married at 19. I met that guy I was 24. I moved out here when I was 24. So yeah, 5 years, or 4.5 years. I got married super young.
19?
Yeah. That's
Why?
That's what like my whole stage act is about. And my whole life is that I was married from 19 to 30. So pretty much like
You were married 11 years?
I was married almost 11 years, yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. So all the stuff that you're supposed to do and like fuck up in your 20s, like all that shit, I'm doing it now.
You ever cheat on him?
No, I never cheated on
You're
him.
loyal.
Never cheated on him.
You're by the books. That's
I
what
wanted
like
to for like 9 years, but I never did. But let me just tell you, when I say like, the whole time I was married, actually, I remember thinking, because my dad cheated on my mom. And the whole time I was married, I remember thinking, oh my God, I have like my dad's impulse to cheat, but like I didn't want to cheat because I wanted to be loyal. So I was fighting it for like 9 years. And I love the guy so much. I love him so much. So I thought that I'm just the kind of girl that would always have a wandering eye, no matter who the guy was. I just thought it was my nature. And I didn't really realize until we split up that it wasn't that. It was just because like sexually, it wasn't working for us. And so like, it wasn't until I got with some more guys, I was like, oh, I don't have a wandering eye. I just wasn't with the right person. Like, it was such a huge, like, mind-blowing experience going through the divorce. It's like someone you've been divorced, right?
It's terrible.
It's like someone dies.
It's terrible.
It's the hardest thing, hands down, I've ever.
What made you divorce him? Like, what was it? A sad divorce? Did you fight?
Well, it was a sad divorce because we both really, really love each other. Like, we still do. You know, we were best friends from when I met him my freshman year of high school. So we're best friends. And there was no anger. There was no one cheated. You know, it wasn't like that. So it was really difficult. But it just came to a point where we'd grown apart so much. We had super different interests. I wanted to be here. He didn't. I wanted to do stand-up. Like, he wanted to work more in, like, marketing and he wanted to be in New York. It wasn't working. And I think that almost made the divorce harder, the fact that we were still friends. Because I didn't hate him. You know, when you break up with someone because they cheat on you or they're awful to you, it's hard, but at least it's like, well, fuck that guy, he's an asshole. This guy was so great that it made it a lot harder, actually. And it really wasn't until, like, honestly, I feel like about six months ago that I really, like, one day was like, I think I'm actually over it. I think the whole last, like, 2 years I've been dating people just as kind of like a Band-Aid on the divorce. Like, I really finally am now like, oh, I'm actually enjoying being single. I'm happy. I feel good. I feel in control. I didn't really feel that for a long time.
No, once you get divorced, it's like mourning somebody.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been with them for a while. My divorce wasn't as painful as people said. It was when I got to the kid. for the 2-year-old at the time that it got.
Oh yeah, of
And
course.
then tempers raised, and then, it wasn't as much the loving part, so
Yeah.
I got it. In fact, I couldn't believe it. Like, she moved out, and I thought I was going to be really in the dumps, and I really wasn't. And I was in shock. Like, I felt bad. Like, I was mad at myself for not missing her more when we first broke up, which is, you're pissed, but at the same time, that's telling you something. You weren't supposed to be with her in a way, so. But I still mourned her. It still threw me off my game. Like, I can feel it now that it still fucked with me in different areas.
Really?
Yeah, and I was dating younger girls, and I fucking hated it. Because I was 28. And all of a sudden, I was hooking up with 21-year-olds. And there was fucking a huge gap for me. I felt like I was 40, and they were 21. And there was a huge gap for me, and I would giggle with them and whatever, but I'm like, this ain't fucking me. This is bullshit. This is just not me, these young chicks like this. So.
Why did you get married at 19?
So funny. So funny that you asked that, because I always talk about this on stage too. It's like the first thing everyone asks. And I'm not really sure. I mean, I think that, I was young. I loved him. He proposed. I remember thinking that if it's either marry him, when you're that young, you think like, well, if I make this guy mad, I'm going to lose him forever. And we were best friends before we ever hooked up. I remember the first time he kissed me, being like, I'm not really that attracted to him, but now he kissed me. So if we aren't boyfriend, girlfriend, he won't be my friend anymore. I mean, I was like 18. I was like a kid when he proposed. I was like, oh, I guess I should say yes or he'll break up with me, and I love him. So I married him. I mean, that was like really all the thought that went into it. Plus his parents were like very religious, very conservative. And I wanted to move to start my career. I knew I wanted to work in show business. I wanted to move, and I knew we couldn't live together if we weren't married because his parents wouldn't be cool with it. So there was just, it wasn't like a grown-up going into a marriage. And now the funny thing is, I don't care about getting married ever again. Like,
You will.
You think?
Yeah, you will.
Because now I just feel like if I'm with someone committed and living with them, I don't know that I care. Why would you, like, what do you think being married is good for, other than the tax perks?
Peace of mind.
Yeah?
For you. You're a loyal broad.
Yeah.
You're not going to go nowhere. You meet a guy that you really like, and you're on a TV show and whatever. You know what? After 9 years, you're just going to get sick and tired of saying my boyfriend. After 8 years.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You're going to say, this is fucking, where am I going?
Yeah.
And then, what I'm saying?
You might be right.
I wasn't, listen, after my divorce, I'm old school Catholic. You get one shot at this. And once you fuck it up, you fucked it up.
It's embarrassing. You probably feel like some
I was
shame
embarrassed.
and
I've
stuff.
always
Yeah.
told people
Me
that.
too.
The divorce for me meant failure.
Me too.
Somewhere along the line, I failed. I fucking failed. This is about two people getting along.
Yeah.
If nobody cheated and you treat me right and I treat you right, there's no reason for us to go anywhere.
Totally.
Maybe let's go somewhere and talk to a third party, and we'll work on it, and we'll work on this. When you just give up, you failed.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck what society tells you at this point. You failed. You failed in human, and you failed for different reasons. I failed. Listen, if you don't take care of something in the beginning, it's going to bite you later on in the ass. If you don't take care of that shit in the beginning, okay, she'll just love it. I'll do it for now.
Yeah.
6 years in, both years are going to go, listen, I do not like when you shit in this house.
Yeah.
It stinks up the fucking house. You can't do it no more.
That's a serious conversation that needs to be had.
Just little things that people don't know that I did with this girl. To be honest with you, I didn't really love her, marriage lover.
Yeah.
There's not marriage lover. My wife now, I marriage loved her. I was with my wife for 9 fucking years.
The first one?
This one.
This one. Before you got married? 9 years? She must have thought you were never going to marry her.
She actually said that. And she went home and came back. And I could tell when she went home, she got a little beat up. Like her parents, like 9 years.
Yeah.
Her brother got
Yeah.
married. The brother had a kid. And I could tell when she got back, something just wasn't up. And here's a woman that when I did the longest yard, and I'd wake up at 4:45, my football uniform was on the fucking thing. There'd be 2 eggs and bacon and baked potato.
Yeah.
And I said, wait a second. Where am I going to get this?
Yeah.
Well, how does this work out? What, there's girlfriends, there's relationships, there's people that Kate, it's 12:45. Let me come over. And then I do my thing for a week.
Of course.
And then you don't see me for a week and
Yeah.
you live your life. And that's cool at a certain
Yeah.
age. Then there's the, you know, well, boyfriend, girlfriend. You make your own car payment, I make my own. You live at your place, I live my own. And then there's the motherfucker that moves in and says, Kate, I love you to death. Listen, do me a favor. Go pursue comedy. I got this. But you only make $9 an hour. I got this. And he gets an extra job, and they work for you, and they cover it.
But I already had that guy once, so
I know.
I don't think I'm ever going to have that.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. Yeah,
I feel like you
will.
only get that one.
No. If you wait for it.
Yeah.
Listen, if you wait for a fastball, it'll come. My man's a fucking baseball fan here. You wait for that fastball and you don't swing, they're going to throw some curves at you, and they're going to strike you out a few times. But you're going to get that. He's going to break down and throw that fastball at you.
Yeah, you're right.
And you always just stick it out. You never know, man. You're a pretty girl. I mean, I can't see you not hooking up with the right guy again. You hook up with some comedian and you go home and, you know, I got a spot at the store and he's at fucking Barney's Beanery. Then it's not going to fucking work. You know what I'm saying?
No comics. I feel like I've said it so many times now that it's finally like out there. No comics. No. But what's funny is I get messages all the time, of course, from comics that I don't know. And they'll ask me out. And the first thing I say is I'll just go, hey, you know, I don't date comics. And it's hilarious because every comic is like, oh, I'm not a comic, I'm a writer. Oh, I'm not a comic, I'm an actor. Oh, I don't really do stand-up. I mean, I only do the improvs, but you never really see me. Like, everybody, it's just so funny how fast people are not comics. When they're trying to sleep with a comic. I can't do it. And I don't want to either because it's too much. Like, the other night I went out with a guy who's not a comic. He's in the business. So he's in the business enough to, like, get it and, like, get what we do. But it was kind of refreshing to not just, like, you know, talk about...
Wait till you go out with an accountant.
I couldn't do that. I'd kill myself.
Yes. No, you wouldn't.
I couldn't do it.
This is why I'm saying to you. You know why? Because now it's something different. Because there's going to come a point. See, right now, you're in love with comedy. Comedy is your fucking every thought. You wake up in the morning, you think of fucking squeezing a load out of your monkey, washing it, and then getting on the stage. You really do. We were talking about the passion you fall in love with comedy.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a point of comedy that you fall in love with. It becomes your girl. For you to succeed in it, it has to become your wife or your husband.
Yeah.
It has to, you know, and you get... Oh, my God. People don't know that third year in L.A., how you're like, okay, I've been here, I've been there. Now I got to make different missions. I got to get different plans. And, you know, I told Lee, you don't know what it's like to cry yourself to sleep from wanting to be funny so bad. Like, wanting not even to be a star. Like, that's bullshit.
No.
Just to get laughs.
That's it.
Like, you have no idea, like, how hard it is to get, like, if you get 2 laughs in the set, like, I fucking sucked. I used to fucking have a hard time. Excuse me, but... Sorry, that fucking star of death is going right through me and shit. It's, you're going to find the guy that's got your back.
Yeah.
And that's what you're looking for. Listen, there's people that you date and then you break up, you're young, and years later you're like, why did I date that person? That person didn't have my back.
Of course, yeah.
We fucked and the sex is great, and she let me put ice cubes in her pussy, and, you know, we did this, and we went to Montreal together, but they didn't have my back. Once you meet somebody who's got your back, you're like, oh,
yeah, you're right.
I get
You're
it.
right.
And now I can't let her go. So when I married Terry, that was great for me. She was happy, big smile on her face. Now fucking 3 years later, she walks into my room. I told her the other day for the first time. She walks into my room and she says, I gotta tell you something, you knocked me up. She was 2 years old or 44 when I knocked her up. She was happy as shit, guys. She thought she was gonna leave this world not being a mom. So the other day I told her, listen, before Terry, I was with a chick that had an abortion punch card.
Oh my God,
Okay?
are you for real?
This chick had, if you looked at her, she had an abortion.
Oh
Today
my
she's
God.
got, I was with her for 4 years and never knocked her up. 4 years of unprotected sex and never knocked
So you
this
thought
animal up.
you couldn't get
I think
anyone
I
pregnant.
couldn't get-
I think that about myself.
Okay, so
yeah,
when I
get
hooked up
that.
with Terry, 9 years.
Yeah,
9 years.
nothing.
Nothing.
No birth control, nothing.
Nothing. No birth.
Do
Nothing.
you pull out even or no?
Fuck, pull out. I don't even feel it. I just sit there electrocuted. Like somebody zapped me with one of those pig guns. I just sit there.
Yeah,
like zzz,
right. That sounds
zzz,
right.
zzz. Whatever comes out, comes out. Sometimes it comes out of my ass and it goes back in. I don't even know anymore. I'm an old man. But when she first came in the room and told me that, and I said, congratulations, I didn't get sad or nothing. I'm like, she cheated on me.
Oh,
And
of course.
I didn't say nothing to her. I was like, listen, this is her hand. She's going to have to come out and say something eventually. For like the first 3 days,
Wow.
I walked around a little fucked
You
up.
were, yeah.
For fucking 8 and 4, for 12 years, I've
Yeah,
been shooting
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
loads, and nobody's getting knocked up. I mean, in horse
Shit.
loads. You know, so now you got to think,
Horse
oh no,
loads?
dog, I'm a big fucking dude. You know, what, an ounce is going to come out? I come in here, it's going to
Horse
gurgle and shit. It's like
Oh my
fucking,
God.
It's like 8, 9, 10 ounces of fucking milkshake juice and shit.
Oh my
I'm a big
God.
fucking guy.
I wish that could be the name of your album.
What, milkshake?
Milkshake juice
If
and
I'm gonna
shit.
come in here, it's gonna gurgle and shit.
Yeah, fuck it. It's going to
Oh
gurgle
my
and shit in
God.
there. You
But
bet-
I get that because you actually just freaked me out because I've never been on birth control ever. And I mean, I use condoms with strangers, but I never use them in relationships. And I just assume that I can't get pregnant now. I've just assumed I was barren. But here's the thing: even
And
when
you don't drink, you don't do drugs.
I drink a
you
little
don't smoke
bit.
cigarettes.
No,
No, so I don't get it. Why
but I
do you-
did. I did for like 3 or 4 years in college. But here's the thing: is my whole life from when I was really young. I remember being like 13, 14. I always had this feeling that I couldn't have kids my whole life. I don't know if it's true, but now I'm starting to think it's true because I've never gotten pregnant. But now that you told me this story, I'm going to go find out this week because I don't want a surprise.
You gotta go to yoga. Go to yoga. They'll knock you up. Go to yoga.
They just knock you out automatically.
So what I was saying to you before, it's so weird that when I hooked up with my wife, she was into the acting thing, and then she started booking. And then one day she came home and she goes, "I'm never doing this again." She booked a billboard, and she got some good dough too.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'm never doing that again. That was the worst thing I've ever
She
done."
hated it?
She hated it.
She hated acting.
She fucking hates. She goes, "I can't believe I was there for 16 hours, since 6 in the morning. They ran out of water. It was like a shoot." And she was a union principal.
Sure.
They ran out of water on the set. I mean, it was just one of those days. I know, hottest day of the month in July. Sunscreen. She had to get hit with water 1,000 times.
Right?
And she's like, "I'm never doing this again. I'm not doing the auditions. I'm not going to acting class." So our home became something different. It didn't become a home of two people talking about the same stupidity. 90% of the stuff I do is to thwart what we do. Because I know how bad it is when it's on your mind all day. When you wake up and it's on your mind, and you smoke a joint, it's on your mind.
Yeah.
After you have sex, it's on your mind. And all comedy gets on your mind.
Yeah.
So after a while, one day you're like, you know what? For me to get better at comedy, I have to step away from it. So I'm going to go do something where there's no comics, where nobody even knows I'm a comic.
Yeah.
Where they don't talk to me about this shit. They talk to me about, it's a pottery class in Crenshaw.
That's perfect.
Because, and that's why I tell, it's like bringing a phone into a gym. You're not accomplishing nothing.
Yeah.
Leave the phone. You can't leave it in the car. The fucking phone will burn to death. So you got to leave it like in your locker because then it's your hour.
It's the best.
Not looking at the phone going, "Oh my God, I gotta. Now some idiot calls you and says, I want to help you write in 20 minutes. Now, it fucks with your workout. I always tell people that when you're creative, that's, when I get up and go to that gym in the morning, when I'm doing jiu-jitsu, when I'm huffing and puffing, I'm in my back, I'm thinking of jokes and shit.
The whole time. Yeah.
The whole fucking time. It's opening me
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So it's just so weird how I always look for that. So I don't, my mind, and that's what I liked about dating Terry after like 3 years. That now we have become a house. So now after like 5 years, when somebody would make me an offer, I would go to my wife and go, "Listen, this is the offer I got." My wife would go, "Nope."
Yeah.
And I go, "Why?" And she go, "Well, blah, 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 blah." And she was right. But I wouldn't think about it that way. If I had an actress wife, I would have taken that fucking stupid job
Yeah,
and gotten
you're right.
fucked in the ass because we got 2 whores living in the fucking house
You're
instead
right.
of 1. So do you understand me? That's
Yeah,
why
that's true.
I didn't want somebody.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I'm lying to you. You know, when I started dating Terry, she was a waitress and she was trying to act. So, but now that I have I'm in a relationship where 90% of our conversation isn't, "I went in to see John Lewis
get
today
it. I
and
get
he
it.
didn't cast me, and oh my God, well, I had the worst day of my life too." Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, John Caparulo said that shame of walking the house when he was watching Sports Center and get in front of the TV and start going, "My joke bombed." And you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, listen to the joke I said. I said it this way, but then I didn't say it this
You're
way. I said it this
right.
way.
It would be all you would talk. It would just be all
It'd be
encompassing.
fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
So
right.
even if you're with a guy that's in the business, let's say he's an agent, it's still going to go home to this chit chat. Eventually, one
You're
day
right.
you're going to go, I don't want to fucking do this.
You're totally right.
You know, can you imagine if Paula was in this shit?
No, it's great.
It's great. You'd go home and talk to her about law and her fucking dilemmas and opening up a
true.
DUI spot for Mexicans.
When you say got married at 19, like I think about how it would have, like I think about the girls I dated when I was, and I thought I was in love with them, and like if I I never used condoms, like if I had gotten one of them pregnant, it just you get so lucky.
But don't listen, man. I could lie to you and tell you when I was 18 years old, because of the situation I had been in, losing my mom and stuff, there was nothing I wanted to do more than to get married at 18. There was a girl I had my eye on. I was just waiting to manipulate this girl.
Really?
Oh, fuck yeah. I love this girl with all my heart.
So that's how it was. And I mean, my stepsister, same thing. Like her whole life, she just wanted to get married,
That's
have
it.
kids.
That's
That's
it.
all she ever.
That's it.
From when she was little, I remember her always saying like, "I can't wait to be a mom." She just couldn't wait. And then when she got married, had kids, that's it for her. Like that's fulfilling for her, and that's. All
I
she
just
wanted.
thought that it was the way to do things.
Yeah.
That's the way I was brought up, that you meet somebody you love. And I loved it. We were like in kind of a relationship, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, I like to hook up with her and get this party started. Like, I want to get out of this life. I don't want this life. So I could see why she got married at 19, 18. I could see it, man. I know people who are still married since high school.
Oh no, I can see it. I'm just saying,
It's
thank
fucking
God I didn't
crazy.
do
It's
it.
crazy.
It's fucking crazy. And then to take away, she's like a Catholic girl. Now I understand why you're so crazy. Because they shut you down from 19 to 30. Those are your fucking
That's
years.
why I'm crazy now. And that's
Yeah.
also why I suck at like general life, because it's not just dating. I mean, I talk about it with dating, but my ex, God bless him, I swear to God, Joey, he did everything. He did everything. Like he cooked, he cleaned, he paid the bills, he took care of like taxes, like all the logistical stuff in life that you have to do. I never did it in my 20s. I didn't even know how to do laundry. I did laundry for the first time. I'm not kidding you. Like a month ago. I'd never done laundry. After the divorce, I was like, I don't know how to do this. I would just take it to fluff and fold all the time. And it's not like I was spoiled. It's not like growing up I had to mow the lawn and clean the apartment and shit like that. But my ex just took really good care of me. So it's been like, seriously, an 18-year-old moving out for the first time has been like my experience the last 3 years. And it's been insane. I mean, I wish sometimes that I'd just have video cameras like running all the time because I'm such a disaster. But I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to like learn, figure it all out.
And you want to throw it all away and be homeless.
Well, yeah. Because now I'm just like having fun. Now I'm like, oh, I got this. So now what would be a good
You're
thing?
really good with the videos.
Thanks.
You're really good with the videos. You know, you're out there. And that's what these people understand. You have to be out there. Especially today. You have all these weapons available to you. You have to use all of them or take 3 of them and be really good at 2 of them.
Yeah. People always, I mean, look, it's not like I'm super successful in show business, but I'm working in show business. And people always ask me, they're like, what kind of tips would you have for someone that's new in Hollywood or whatever? And I say, the worst mistake you can make is to just sit and wait for someone to come, like your agent to call with an audition, or sit and wait for anything. Like every job I've ever had in show business has come because I went out and like got something myself. Like I made a video and sent it to someone and they called me in for something else. Or even the Playboy show, the way that I originally got in the door at Playboy is I sent them a bunch of photos, funny, sexy photos with a letter that was like, you guys should do a spread on like hot upcoming female comics that's like a funny spread. And they brought me in for a meeting and they ended up being like, oh, you're so funny. You should work for us and do sketches. But like, I've never gotten one job just sitting around waiting. I keep as many balls in the air as I can all the time. Like if I have a day off, I shoot something every day. I take 1 day a week now because of you. Because we had a talk where you told me you do jujitsu and do this shit where nobody knows who you are. And I was like, that's a really good idea. So I started going to Venice once a week and playing volleyball with people that aren't in the business at all. But other than that, I don't ever take a day where I don't do like 2 or 3 things to put out on social media, because now in the world we live in, you can build a fan base on social media, and when you go do stand up on the road, they'll come.
They'll
you know,
come.
they will show up.
They're very loyal.
Yeah.
You have a certain thing that you have to be successful in any fucking field. And you have it. And it's not your looks or you're very enthusiastic, and it comes across. Like your enthusiasm is, it motivates people. It motivates me sometimes. Your enthusiasm, like fucking, if you really want to know what the fuck you have to do, follow Kate.
Oh,
And
thanks.
see what Kate's doing, and then check what the fuck you're doing. Like, what the fuck did I do today? This chick's got 3 pictures on Instagram. She's got fucking a picture of her with a bikini at a fucking Chinese restaurant ordering takeout. Another picture of her doing stand-up last night. Another picture of her in the car with Eric Myers and the fucking Jewish guy Glickman going to a gig. Glickman's a hustler too. That
Glickman
motherfucker.
is-
He don't
dude.
sleep. That's a Jew dog.
Yo,
Old school
he
Jew
doesn't
Glickman.
sleep.
That motherfucker don't sleep. And you give him a topic, and he'll write a show around it and sell that thing to the Improv. And if it fails, it failed, Joey. But guess what? We're going back in there August 24th with the Jewish show.
Yeah.
Hitler, somebody dresses up. And that's what it takes.
Glickman works harder than anyone I've
Anybody
ever
I
met.
know.
Anybody
Anybody
I've
I
ever
know.
met. And he
Anybody
is
I
such
know.
a hustler, but the thing
All
is,
day.
he has more shit going on. And let me tell you something. I've never met anyone in my life who's connected to more people. It is unbelievable.
All you need to do is give Glickman an idea, dog, and check back
Yeah.
with him in 10 days.
It's so true.
That's it. That's the type of Jew he is. He don't fuck around.
He
Like,
came on my podcast one time.
I'm
One
telling
time
you.
as a guest. He's like, "This is a really cool idea for a show. We should co-host it. I could do so much with this." Da, da, da. I'm like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, whatever you want." Like within a month, Glickman's got us a network to be on. He's got the artwork done. He's got a live show. But like,
telling you.
he's crazy.
He's crazy.
He's
Great.
amazing.
And that's the enthusiasm you need, because
Yeah.
even though you're not hiring, don't not hire for too long, because I might fucking shut you down. That's Glickman's fight. And Glickman's doing this from an old perspective. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you don't want to hire me at nick of night. Don't take too long. I'm the guy for here, but don't take too long, because I'm doing shit.
Yeah.
And in about 18 months, we're not going to have this conversation. We're going to be having a different conversation on how you're going to pay me for this fucking idea.
And it's amazing how you have to, like, at least I had to learn to focus it. Like, we had that talk a few months ago when I was doing Uber, like, for a few weeks. And you're like, if you put that time into, like, something for yourself, you'd make way more money than you
I am
would.
sick and tired of people going, I'm a photographer, but in the meantime, I'm waiting tables. You know what? You lost the battle with this fucking safety net.
Right.
You want to be a photographer? Let's start here. Go, take pictures, put them on a fucking flyer, make 100 flyers, and go to every coffee shop and pass them out. 100 flyers a day. I guarantee you'll get a call a day.
That's it. That is
I
it.
guarantee you'll
Yeah.
get a call a day. And you don't, that effort you're putting for $8 an hour and picking up forks with dog hair and people breathing on you and shit, you put that into yourself for 3 weeks. And at the end of 3 fucking weeks, you'll be making a living in what you're doing. It might not be what you want to do at the time,
But closer.
but you'll be closer. You might
Yeah.
not be running the studio, but you'll be sweeping it. And at least you got your foot through the fucking door. I never liked that thing. Well, and that's why our friend can never do a good podcast or never have a career. With the guy with the movie podcast, because there was always a safety net. Listen, that 20 hours a week you're selling insurance, you could be doing 1,000 things for
So
yourself.
true.
And in that month, yeah, you're not going to be able to eat for a month, bro. But after that, you're going to be making a living. And after that, if you keep putting the hustle into what you're doing, it's just going to snowball. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
It just snowballs, man. And you're going to have a bad month, but you're not going to go back to waiting tables. You're not going to go back to waiting tables, because that breaks you down even more. Because now you're not living your dream at all. Now you're not really living it. Yeah, I took pictures of a dog on a mountain last week. Who gives a fuck? We got to make a living, bitch.
Right.
And that's what I like about you, that you're very enthusiastic. Most women depend on their tits. Most women depend on, you depend on your enthusiasm.
Thank
and I
you.
really like it. And everything else is a cherry on the fucking sundae.
Thank
You have
you.
a nice body because, that's the way life works out.
And I'm hungry.
You hungry right now?
Always. Well, not really.
Oh, hungry.
I mean, I'm just hungry all
I
the
thought you meant
time.
hungry like In-N-Out hungry.
No, I mean, I'm hungry. a
Lee
lot.
will walk you
Oh,
In-N-Out. He knows everybody In-N-Out.
I love In-N-Out.
He's the fucking general manager by proxy
bet.
In-N-Out and shit.
That's so funny.
Tom Segura was on a radio show, and he told the story about you knowing everybody at Burbank Airport.
Did he?
Just walking in, just knowing everybody.
You gotta know everybody at Burbank Airport. That's my smuggling route. Let me give some shout outs here.
That's hilarious.
Kate wants to get the fuck out
No,
of here.
not at all.
My main man, Cody Wilson, Alex Costino, Alan Hill, Matthew Noling, Bobby Sharon, and Crystal for coming out last night. Ookie Spooky for coming out last night. David Wilder, Albert Jimenez, Ernie Leva, David Cole Jr., and my man Corey Ruck. You bad motherfucker. Start off the week with a tremendous shout out. But that's the truth. I've always said that because I did it for a long time. I would make those excuses. I'm doing comedy, but I'm doing this part-time. And that part-time, you could be writing jokes and making calls to get you into a comedy club or a ride here, and you're just wasting your fucking time.
And nowadays, you never know what is going to be the thing that kind of breaks you or suddenly gets you a bunch of fans. And if you're waiting tables when someone calls you for that thing, I mean, like I don't know. For me, I am obsessed with keeping my time open. So I try to find ways to make money through social media now. Like you can do it. You know, if you find a good idea that's funny, you have like Periscope. You know, you pick an avenue. You get on there, you build a following, you can make money now, you can get sponsors. There's just so many ways now to like go around having like a job or to clock in and out and a side gig. And for me, I love it because then you get a phone call to just even come shoot a sketch that pays $75. It pays almost nothing, but who cares because it's something you do. I've had a couple of those that'll like go viral, you know, and I'll pick up a bunch of followers or something. So I just feel like nowadays there's too many ways that if you are smart at all, you can find a way to make money doing what you want. You really can. At least, I don't know, I think you can. Even if I was going to drive an Uber, you know what I would do? I would Periscope, and I would find a way to make like driving an Uber into a show. Like
I wanted to do an Uber last week with me and Lee. Me as Lee's Uber manager, and we let Lee pick people up as Uber, and we tape them like that show on HBO.
Right.
But then they have to sign releases, and Uber has to know. We might get in trouble.
Why does Uber have to know?
Because Uber eventually will fucking know that we're in the car with me and Lee, and we're picking up people, and I'm his driving coach. Lee, make a left.
But if they sign releases, who cares, right? The passengers?
But we're still oozing. Why have a TV show, and then 3 years later, Uber shows up with a bill?
Yeah, that's true.
I think we could go to Uber.
And just pick people up at night and drive them places, and me and you together as a team.
Why don't you just put a mustache on the front of your car and just grab people because they'll just think you're a Lyft car.
60-40, you know what I'm saying? You know how we do it because I'm putting the deal together here.
That's hysterical. That's a great idea.
It is a great. I almost called you last week in Boston.
Why didn't you?
Because you're busy at the fucking game with Mom.
Oh, Jesus.
You're probably eating fucking lizards
I
and
go home
shit.
once every 18 months, and that's how I get the brilliant idea.
That's why, because you weren't around, cocksucker.
Do you ever feel irritated because you have so many ideas you want to do? I have so many things I want to do. It like makes me tired thinking about it, and then I can't stop. Like
It's endless. The shit that's in my mind sometimes is
I know.
endless.
And then they all seem like such amazing
Great ideas. I'll have great jokes. After
Yes.
midnight, my jokes are brilliant. Then when I wake up in the morning, I look at them and I'm like, oh, that was...
I know. I would say that.
I'll fucking get up and open up like Thai tennis places and shit. Like I'm always looking for the next hot thing, you know.
I think
A sun tanning booth with a yoga spot next door or something. But
yeah, I have the same thing.
you snap out of your stupidity and you're like, fuck this noise. I'm a comic.
Yeah.
We're fucking comics.
Yeah.
And the only way to become a really good comic is to commit. And the more you fucking commit, the more you get better. You know, when I see a comic and he's telling me, listen, I'm thinking of directing a short, that's the party's over for me.
Yeah.
You know, how did you become a director, dog? You barely do 8 minutes at the store. All of a sudden now you're a fucking director. You know, I'm a comic.
Yeah.
And I could sit here and tell Lee, let's do something. We'll be producers. Have I ever come to you with that shit? No. I'm a comic, bro. I don't know nothing about that other shit. I don't want to be involved. A director's a director.
Yeah.
A guy is a director the same way you woke up when you were 6 at night, 6 in the morning.
You wanted to be a director. Yep.
You want to be a fucking actress. When you're 6, you're like, you know what? I think I could be a director. And you feel it and you grow with it. This shit that's happening now, people showing up. I got a thing last week. I got a great package last week. I got a package on Gmail. This is the movie I did. It's fucking tremendous. The movie I wrote is an Academy Award winner. This only needs Joey Diaz. I look at the other thing, it's on Vimeo. That's a giveaway right there. You didn't do nothing with this fucking movie. Bunch of people yelling, jumping up and down and shit.
Oh my
Then he
God.
sends me 4 emails in a row. This is it. I sent the package to your agent. And oh, by the way, you have to put this audition on tape for me. And I go, before we do anything, how much Gitas is involved here? Because Papa got mouths to feed. I never heard from the guy again. That's how quick, because they're strokes.
Yeah.
Everybody's a fucking director
Yeah.
now. They got a camera, they do this. Oh, I seen Pulp Fiction. I seen Clerks. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about Kevin
Right.
Smith?
Yeah, totally.
He's a fucking 80s, he's a 90s director where nothing matters. He ain't gonna go down into the Sam Weisbaum and all those motherfuckers like that. You're a little fucking confused for that, bitches. What night does your show come on?
The Playboy TV show, it's on Saturday nights at 10 p.m.
Good for you. That's a
Yeah,
good time slot.
it's a
I'm
good
really
time.
proud of you. You're a good lady. I know you work hard, and I just want to introduce you to the audience that you're going to be doing things. And it's not
Thank you.
because of all your God-given talents. Your enthusiasm is fucking... You know, and I know what it's like to just wake up in the morning with your dick hard going, I'm going to go out there and fucking mangle somebody.
That's
today."
exactly how I feel.
And then they start cutting your legs off and you lose. And then you learn how to take your energy and just flow it at one
Yeah.
or two things. And what do you think, Lee? What do you got on agenda this week? You got Flying Jew Radio. You got fucking tank tops. You got consulting businesses. This guy's got more business than Sammy the Bull Gravano.
I got all that. No, yeah, I got a bunch of stuff this weekend.
You want to do another star?
No, I did 4 stars.
Why not? You didn't do 4 stars. You
I did
It's
2.
a
You
4-star
did
broadcast.
2, and the other one was like 1.
No.
Let's eat one more for fucking the Jewish people. It's Monday. Passover's right around the corner.
No, it's not.
When is Passover?
It's like April.
Rosh
What's in-
Hashanah or
something's in
something. Rosh
September.
Hashanah.
Oh, those are the worst ones.
Well, in September.
Yeah, well, no, October. Yeah.
No, September's coming. Let's do the podcast.
September.
Let's do the sponsors and we'll get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Real quick, I was down in Austin this week. On it is blowing up, guys, right in front of our fucking faces. And all started with this Alpha Brain, Earth-grown nootropics, Alpha GPC, AC11. That's all great. I can break it down for you and tell you a bunch of fucking lies I don't know. Beautiful thing about Alpha Brain, it makes you more focused. But the best thing about it is it's got a 100% money-back guarantee, and we don't want the product back. That's how good this motherfucking product is. You understand me? If you don't like Alpha Brain, they got the New Mood. They got the Shroom Tech Sport, the Shroom
Strong
Tech
Bone.
Immune. If you want to fly, Lee got sick. He didn't take the Shroom Tech Immune. I flew today. I'm tip-top Magoo because I popped 2 of those motherfuckers after I had 2 breakfast burritos at Austin fucking airport next to the Salt Lake like a motherfucker, which wasn't serving brisket at 6 in the motherfucking morning.
Did you wait in line for...
No, you just go up
Barbecue?
and take 2 fucking... No, they had no bar. The barbecue thing was open, but they were serving eggs. They weren't serving fucking the brisket with the whole thing, so I settled for the 2 potato, cheese, and egg breakfast burritos with a little hot salsa and a green fucking tea, iced tea from Lipton. Stop it. I got on that plane like a soldier, you understand me? Then they tried to give me that death fucking cheese omelet with that Buvakwa turkey. Get the fuck out of here. And I don't want that carbohydrate-infused biscuit they give you on American Airlines and shit. You're shitting blood for 2 days. Anyway, go to Onnit.com right now and press in.
church?
Church, CHURCH, and get 10% off your first order. And if you stay on it, they'll mail it to your house every month, directly to your door, and they take an additional 10% off. Who's better than you? My head's itchy. That's a good sign. It's like your left hand being itchy. Who's better than you? You're thinking of smoking, you're thinking of going to a casino, you want to smoke a little bit? HittyCigs.com right now. They got cigars, they got fucking nicotine, whatever the hell you need. You know what the best thing about Hitty Cigs is? 1,200 guaranteed puffs like a motherfucker. That'll outlast any Hindu cigarette you buy at 7-Eleven. Go to HittyCigs.com right now and get 5 for $50. You understand me? Get the cigar, get the 24 milligram, the 16, the 8, and the 0. Quit smoking or just look like a pimp while you're doing it. Go to HittyCigs.com and press in.
Joey's church.
Boom! And get fucking 5 for $50. Who's better than you? And listen, you're thinking, Joey, how come you're not smoking vapors? You know why I'm not smoking vapors? Because I'm high on fucking edibles. But if I was to be smoking vapors, I'd be with the Nailed It Life boys. And so should you. Nailed It Life, one of the best vapor pens in the fucking business. You understand me? A tremendous product, 100% money back guarantee. Something goes wrong with the call, you call David or Peter, and they fucking hook you up like that. They're also the proprietors of those Gummies Hermanos, which will take you to fucking death and back, those fucking things. Those 250 milligram hash oil, those will fuck you up completely. Plus the little fucking Orcado ones he's got for Mexican people. Knock yourself out. Go to naileditlife.com and press in.
Joey Diaz.
Boom, get 20% off your vapor pen, which is 50. That means you get it for 40. You're right. Who's better than us? I want to thank Onnit. I want to thank Hitty Cigs. And I want to give a big shout out to Nailed It Life for being our beautiful sponsors. but not as much as the beauty that's in the room with me right now, my little Irish princess, fucking Kate Quigley. What kind of name is Quigley?
Thank you. It's Irish.
Irish, see? I know who the fuck you think you're dealing with. I can smell an Irish broad when they're close to me. I swear to God, dog, that's all I dated for years.
You can smell them.
Oh, I love
What
it.
do they smell like?
Guinness.
Fucking, I don't know, Irish. You
Leprechauns.
smell their little freckled titties, it takes you to a different level. You understand me? I went to Sacred Heart School. And then I played St. Michael's, CYO, all those girls. Colleen Maines, all those girls. I love all those Irish chicks, dog. I love them. Their little pale skin and shit. Tell them.
Look though, I'm not. Well, my grandfather's Native American, so I'm a weird breed. That's why like my skin's kind of tan, but I have the freckles.
My wife too. She's Native American.
Really?
Yeah, with Irish. But you're like a casino owner, Native American.
Yeah, I
I can
wish.
sneak up on you. You know what I'm saying? Most Indians you can't sneak up on them if they're really an Indian. You can't sneak up on an Indian. That's their claim to fame.
You couldn't sneak up.
You didn't know that, Lee?
I had no idea.
You could fucking be silent. You could be a feather and you can't sneak up on an Indian.
Come on.
If they're a real Indian.
They feel you in the room.
They feel
I
you
think
on
I
the-
have that.
They
Have you
feel-
tested this out?
Yeah,
Like,
when I
if you
was a
tried to
kid.
sneak up on Indians?
Yeah, there was an Indian
I
kid
think
in
I
my
have that.
neighborhood.
I feel it.
You do?
I feel people. I swear. I feel like sometimes I think it's a ghost. It'll be a person.
Yeah, maybe you should go talk to the doctor about this Adderall shit.
Yeah, I think I need that. I think I
You
might need
performing
that.
anywhere on the road soon?
Actually, yeah. Well, Tuesday night at the Ontario Improv, I actually have my own show out there, and Brad Williams will be out there. It's called the Hollywood Pool Party, and then I'm in Phoenix next weekend at the Laugh Factory with Gene Pompa and Eric Myers. So, totally, everyone should come out. It's going to be such a good show.
Good fucking show.
Yeah.
Look at you. See? What I tell you, she's always trying to make a fucking buck.
Yep.
What are you doing next weekend, cocksucker? For Labor Day, Memorial Day, whatever it
We're
is.
going to the fair.
You go, oh, that's right. You got the tickets. You're going to let Fede get stabbed. Bring a
No.
bulletproof vest, cocksucker.
It's going to be fun.
All right, what are you going to buy down there?
I don't know.
You don't know nothing, do you?
What should I buy at the fair?
Popcorn?
They guess what? They have fucking fried watermelon. It looks so gross.
You'll eat it.
Fried watermelon?
I love the fair. That's so. What fair?
The LA fair.
Oh, I'm gonna miss that. Damn.
No, it's going on for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
I love carnies. I just like talking to them. You know.
Who?
Carnies.
Who's Carney?
The carnival workers.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They're my favorite.
What is wrong with you?
You never talk. You gotta go, and you gotta just.
You're gonna
talk.
get fucking Cosby.
Just
Keep
go
fucking
join-
with those dirty motherfuckers. They'll take
I'm
you
not going
into
out with them.
No, but that's what they do. They dose you too, and they take you into the fucking house of pain, whatever they got. And next thing you know, you're a fucking pregnant chick on a circus tour with a guy named
Dude.
Tico.
That's what you should do. Join the fair instead of being homeless.
This is when I should have known that I had daddy issues, because one of the first guys I remember being like, he's so hot, was one of the, you know, the clowns that sit in the dunk tank and insult people until you hit them. I remember like the insulting clown.
Where was
and
that?
I was
How
like,
old were you?
I was like 15. And I remember the insulting clown guy and being like, he's so hot. Like, he had clown makeup on, but just because he was such an asshole and he was so mean, I was like, he's so hot. I want to go out with him. Like, I was super into him. I should have known then that I was set up for a lifetime of problems with men.
You're fine. You're fine. Do you see a psychiatrist?
No.
No, you
I
should.
probably should.
No, fuck no. You don't have no problems. They're all in your head.
Right.
You got
That's what psychiatrists do.
Yeah, but you think she's got an issue with guys. She got no fucking issue.
I don't
She
think
should-
I need a
This
shrink.
is
You're
the
right.
issue. You ready for the issue with guys? When
Yeah.
you see a guy that you like, you go,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, I always know. It's
If-
just that
no,
they
no,
don't like me
you
back.
You don't say what I'm saying to you. Because lately you've been picking some bad ones.
Yeah.
So right now your fucking compass is off. That's what that means. So when you see a guy that you fucking want, go, no, I don't want him. And turn it around.
Oh, say no. Go for the guys.
No, no, no. I don't want you to say no. I didn't say no. I want you
Oh,
to look at a
pretend
guy
I
and
know.
go, that's my type, and go, no. Because right now you're the kiss of death. You're picking poison. So we got to get your compass back.
You're right.
So I want you to go, next time you go out to a bar, I want you to go up to a guy that you would never go up to in your life.
All right.
Check his hand out. If he doesn't have a ring,
I'm going to do it.
go to a guy that you would never go up to that guy.
I will.
Never. Like, whatever your type is, this is against
Total
your,
opposite.
total opposite. If he's fat and you like skinny guys,
Right.
you know, what are you laughing about, Lee? Maybe she likes little fat Jews. I'm getting you hooked up here.
Right.
Kate's a fucking. Kate's
all
a
the chubby
sport.
dudes are like, you're just like trying to like hook it up for chubby dudes. Like, just go to any chubby dude.
Any guy
Kate
that
likes
you.
big guys. Kate likes guys that are strong. She likes those little. Everybody likes.
How do
to
you
sit-
know?
Because I could tell. Kate, you're a fucking classy woman. You're not looking for. You're looking for love, and you're looking for somebody to take care of you and smack you in the ass and tell you you're a cocksucker.
You're right about the end.
Make something to eat. But you're also looking
You're
for
right.
a man to love you and care for you. And that's the fucking women. Women are a fucking puzzle to me that has always been like, we don't want the guy that's right for us as women. We want the guy that beats us and steals the car and fucks my sister.
We want
and
to
gets
fix him.
crabs from her. Yeah, you want to fix him.
Yeah.
It's so weird how, looking back now, I saw the choices that girls I went to high school with made, and I see who they're with now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a particular
You're
girl in
right.
high school that she was hot, and she always wanted the guy that was 10 years older. Well, that bitch ended up almost going to jail with a kid, and he's never talked to the fucking kid. So what did she do? She
Right.
became a born-again Christian to take the taste of dick out of her mouth and move to Florida. And now she's with a guy that she would have been with in the beginning.
Yeah.
He's not John Travolta,
Yeah.
but he's not fucking ugly either, you know? And that's when you... That's
Yeah.
why I want you just one time. Next time you go do comedy, whatever, a guy that looks at you and says, hi, just say, can I buy you a drink? Just as an experiment. And
Yeah.
See what
At
you
me, yes,
like.
I'm gonna offer to buy a drink for a guy I would never normally.
Never.
All right,
never.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna report back.
Are you racially like? Do you date any nationality?
Yeah, except I don't like blondes
Good
for whatever
you.
reason. Just
Okay,
because they
see?
look like we look too much alike.
Right.
But anything else, yeah.
You're gonna end up with like a Greek guy. You're gonna marry like a Greek or an old school Italian guy. Or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, like a Mediterranean guy. You like Mediterranean guys.
I like Mediterranean food.
Same difference.
I haven't been with enough guys to. I've only been with 9.
Guys.
Oh, 10 now.
But what if there's like a Mexican dude with blonde hair? Will you go with him?
No, because that just sounds fucking awful. You mean
What
if,
about like a guy from Spain, like a Spanish guy?
Yeah, for sure.
Like that good-looking Spanish guy that goes Dancing with the Stars. He's like blonde hair, but he's from Spain and he speaks
Oh,
like
he's
this.
blonde?
Yeah, like blue-eyed.
I don't know. No, probably not. I'm just not usually attracted. Maybe, but probably not. But Spanish, like Rafael Nadal, yeah.
Who's Rafael Nadal?
The tennis player.
He's a tennis
I
player.
don't know who that is.
He's hot. He's
All right.
Spanish.
I don't have a comment.
You what?
I don't have a comment.
I
He-
never
yeah, you do.
really understood how the hottest girls I know always have the toughest fucking problems with guys, or they're so insecure about themselves that they're gonna get cheated on. I never understood. I gotta start a school.
Yo, it's because the hottest girls you know are the hottest girls you know because they're so insecure that they have to look hot all the time. I'm speaking from an insecure girl's standpoint. That's why they're the hottest girl, because they put the most effort in.
Yeah,
'Cause
but guys don't like girls that put effort in like that. We like you to have some flaws.
yeah?
Sure,
Really?
Sure. We don't want you to,
Well, you're in luck, guys who are listening, 'cause I have flaws.
everybody has fucking flaws.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing though, is that like I always say being a hot girl, it's only a teeny bit of actual genetics and all the rest is money. That's all it is. Anyone with money can be a hot girl. You get the right person training you, you get a makeup artist at Sephora, you get the right hair extension. I mean, anyone. It's just having the money. And then, girls that aren't insecure and don't care as much about being like super hot, they probably spend their money on other things. Like traveling or, I don't know, books.
What do you think, fucko?
I don't know.
Look at this.
Nothing
What are
right
you going to
now.
go home and eat? That garlic shrimp? What do you
Yeah.
make it over? White rice?
No, she gave me Mexican rice.
Mexican rice. Now, what do you got for dessert tonight?
I got pudding, I think.
What type of pudding?
Chocolate.
Look at you.
You sound like such a stoner.
Oh, he's the man. This guy.
I love it. I got
No
pudding.
pepperoni, nothing like that.
That's not dessert.
Whatever. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to the church, and I want to thank Kate Quigley. How can they find you?
Thank you. Oh, you guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at KateQFunny, and you can follow my Facebook page if you want.
There you go. And Lee, I love you, cocksucker. We'll be back
you,
Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday night. We haven't decided yet.
This
Have a
show.
great day today, Monday. Go out there and knock them dead. I'm fucking starving. My stomach's growling, Jack. I only ate a little bit of Cuban food my wife made tonight.